Hello, everybody.
Hello,
How's
everyone.
it
Ignore my
going?
rude messages in chat.
Yeah, he was like, right up until the very second I hear this little like, he's talking to
Like he's
chat. I'm like,
slacking.
are you ready?
No,
I'm
I'm not
changing
ready.
scenes. Are you ready? I'm turning the mic on. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Sorry, he's just so invested in the community.
It's all about the community,
It's
really.
all about, we just love to give back.
That's it. That's all it is.
We
It's
love
all
to
about the
give
people.
back, which is why we're doing the podcast on Wednesday night.
Wednesday, and this is big episode 13 of the MaeMaeTown podcast
No.
because that last one didn't happen.
Well, okay, so it's episode 14. Our last one was 13, right? I literally had to ask
Yes,
him
it
what episode
was.
we're on.
I just want to. I just gotta say, hey, elephant in the
Hey,
room. We made a fool of ourselves last time.
we made a fool of our. Okay,
we
today,
we made some
guys,
claims that aged like milk. I
we are
gotta say
gonna.
they did not age well.
Tonight, we are gonna eat our words like a Thanksgiving meal.
Happily eat the words, but
Happily.
also kind of not happily, and we'll explain why in a
Yeah.
sec.
We have our
Uh,
reasons.
we have our
We have
reasons.
our reasons why we're not super pleased.
There's a moral here, and I think the moral is don't partake in conspiracy theories.
Don't buy
Ex-
everything that you hear online, guys.
which I
Okay?
think was our original moral anyway.
That's what we were leading with that, and then we taught ourselves our own lesson.
Yes, we already ate our words,
Yeah,
and
we
now we're gonna
did.
eat them again,
Yeah, we're gonna eat them again live and in
live
stereo.
on stream. Yes, and HD. I think this is
I
HD.
hope it's in stereo. If not, I'm sorry. And I hope that the audio levels are even. Let us know if they're
Even
not.
let us know how the audio's levels are. I don't want to be watching this. I've been watching some VODs back lately, and people have been slacking on telling me audio levels. Let
Mm-mm-mm.
me tell you, I'll watch this back and be like, "This is unwatchable.
No, well,
This
it's
is
like,
unwatchable for 3 hours," and that's not on me. I can't hear it.
well, for me, like when I listen to these episodes in the car, and so I'm constantly having to like go up to 30 because I can barely hear one of us, and then somebody laughs and it's like, "Oh god," and it like blows my
Yeah,
ears out, so I have to turn back down. It's like I'm manually adjusting the audio levels for each person while I'm driving, and it's very dangerous. So you guys don't want me to get in a car accident, do you?
you don't.
Which, by the
Obviously,
way,
yeah,
I'm just
you
going to
don't
put it
want
out
that.
there. I am way over caffeinated today. I have been having a panic attack since 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if I
I've
seem
also
a
only
little,
had caffeinated drinks as well. So, hey,
hey,
that's great. We'll see what happens.
maybe I haven't had as much water as I'm supposed to. But hey, there's water in
Wow.
coffee. No?
Hey, am I right,
How you gonna
baby?
make coffee without water?
I'm drinking my 10 liters a day.
I got a water bottle I got from my grandparents.
Hey, that's not what
Because I'll
that's a
tell.
very blue bottle.
Yeah, it's honestly, this brand is so attractive. It's Callaway blue. They always buy this water bottle. It looks like it's from like a tropical island.
Dang, you're gonna
I
name drop that for free, huh?
I
Here I am
only
taking the label off my unimportant water.
they're making enough money off of my grandparents because this is like, besides Aquafina, which I don't know why they don't just buy this one because Aquafina's trash, but they always have this water in their house, and so I always feel cool when I can have one. I don't buy it myself,
I
but
like the bottles though.
it's really cool. It's very like, it's sexy, right? Like it's just the
Yeah, that's
flower
nice. You
on
know what
it.
I like?
I
My
love it.
favorite bottles of water are always like the cheapest no-name garbage
Which
because
is
they're not
fine.
flavored. They're just tap, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's like filtered tap. They got the poop out of the tap water, and then I drink it, and that's fine.
You take yours
That's
out?
what I want. What's that?
You take yours out?
I take the poop out of the water.
You do?
Yeah, well, you put a little in the cap and you shake the bottle and you mix it around.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was
Yeah,
about to say, I was like, that's hot take.
yeah. My no, sorry for misunderstanding.
Sorry,
It's like
yeah.
it's called a flavor cap. I don't know if you had one.
The flavor cap, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
That's why I was like, that's weird. So I
yeah.
just want to
So
make
now
sure
we've
that we were on the same
successfully
page.
lost the audience.
So if you're still listening or watching,
Some, hey, oh, the MaeMaeTown podcast. Ooh, what to talk about?
What are the deep
what to
conversations gonna be
what
today?
to talk about?
What's that? What's that?
What to talk
What's
about today?
that?
What's this? What's ew? What is this?
There
Ew.
does come a point where like for the Spotify listeners it becomes unlistenable because we forget that there's listeners
My bad. So in this scene, in this bit,
in this
Neodoodlez from
scene.
Twitch.tv is pointing at his toque, also
Took.
known as a beanie for American
If
listeners.
you're a normal
And
person.
on this toque, there is a Zelda Hylian shield emblem. And the joke here is that Neodoodlez is pointing obnoxiously to the emblem
Yeah.
while he asks, "What should we talk about?" Indicating a sarcastic response from MaeMaeTown. Because obviously he wants to talk about Zelda.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to the MaeMaeTown podcast.
Thank you. Yes, thank you Spotify listeners for
Yes,
listening to this podcast. Anyways,
subscribe to the Twitch because it's easier.
please, we want you to be here live.
We do. We
We
do.
appreciate everyone in the chat. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for
And
all being here.
YouTubers, you YouTube people, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
You can see our beautiful faces.
You can see our beautiful
Yeah.
faces.
Don't you want to?
Oh,
Come on
I
over.
plucked my unibrow for this.
He did. He did. He was plucking right before we went live. He was plucking his
Like
unibrow.
literally, I remember.
It's
I was looking
literally
at my
on
camera. I was like,
Instagram.
"Uh-oh."
I'm not even kidding. It's on Instagram.
You can watch me do it.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
special shout out to everyone in the chat. Hello. Thank you for being here. I always appreciate you guys. We always appreciate you guys being here live for the episodes. If you are listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, you too can join the chat. I will say, usually episodes are recorded on Monday evenings now. But sometimes life comes up and we can't do it on Mondays. We got to move it. So hence why we're doing it on Wednesday night.
Listen, we talked about this before. You
Yeah.
know, I don't get to see MaeMaeTown in person often.
Yeah.
Okay, we are a long distance relationship, which means we see each other every single night on FaceTime, which is amazing, by the way, that we have this technology. It's great. I love it. But when we see each other in person, it's a special event. You know, we get to watch the things we watch on the same TV, no delay. She's 3D. What's that about?
That's weird.
So that's kind of cool. What a novelty.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we get to spend this time together. So it's hard to, we'll make all these streaming plans, and it's hard to follow through with them because we just kind of want to immerse ourselves in the relationship while we're in person, since it's such a rare occurrence. We try to do monthly visits. Lately it's been every couple months because of finances. Flights are very, very expensive. We find things that work here and there, but we definitely try to treasure those moments offline as much as we can. But although that being said, I look back on all of our in-person streams so fondly, and they're so fun to do every single time, including this past one where we played Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
We did, yeah.
Which was a big deal because this game holds very significant significance.
Yeah.
For MaeMaeTown and I. You could say that. And I will say that because prior to us prior to us being in a relationship, we would talk about Tears of the Kingdom often. It was one of the first things we used to bond over. And I remember she was so excited because she powered through that game. You streamed it like every single day.
I didn't power through it. I spent a solid 6 months on it. But when I first got it, yes, I was streaming. I was streaming a lot. I was putting YouTube content out from the game.
I think on day one, didn't I raid into you because
I think so.
You were still playing it.
I did it for 11 hours. First day.
I remember that first night was wild because I think I started it. I only got to stream it for a couple hours because I got really sick. I got really motion sick from it. So I raided into you, and I think I woke up the next day and you were still playing.
Well, I started from like 11 a.m. to 7 o'clock at night, I think. I went all day. Something like that.
I don't remember exactly what the timings were on that. But I'll have to check the VODs.
It's possible that you woke up. You probably took a nap or something.
I do that. Yeah,
You
yeah.
do
So it's
that,
very,
yeah.
very possible. Or it could have been the next day. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think I streamed Tears of the Kingdom twice.
Mhm.
I might have gotten off of that first island. Who knows? But anyway, I remember you were so excited because we were talking about um, just the game in general and
Mhm.
how amazing it is and how much you were loving it. And I had been watching your streams at that point as well. And you wanted to talk about the ending so badly because you were gushing about Patricia's performance as Zelda
Yeah.
and how cool, how like breathtaking the ending was.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, I'm not there yet, but I can talk about other stuff. She's like, oh, but I want to talk about the timeline and I want to talk about
I
all this
had
stuff.
conspiracy theories.
And I'm like, I'm so down. I'll finish this and we'll talk about it. If I don't finish this, and this was the big thing, if I don't finish this by the end of September, you can spoil it for me.
He had a month.
Now, I had a month because this was like middle of August, end of August of 2023.
Mhm.
Now, however, that being said, I did not specify the year. So I still win. I still beat it before September.
He did.
So I played it the other day while MaeMaeTown was over, and we ended up beating it together, and it was as incredible of an experience as I was hoping it was going to be.
Yeah, we did one stream on the day of FanExpo when we got home because we had just met Patricia Somerset, who voices Zelda in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, who, by the way, I wish I had the hotkey that you do to show the picture, but I'll insert it on the YouTube video, the picture of us meeting her.
Yeah.
She is the coolest person, like the coolest, like, actor that I've ever met. She was so chill, she was so sweet. She like gave us different picture options, which like at cons now they're really strict about what you pay for and what you get. Like Charles Martinet, who voices Mario, was a couple tables down, and he was charging like $110 for a photo.
It was,
Right?
yeah, it was at least that. It
Which
was a
is
lot.
like, I know that he's Mario, but holy shit. Like, that is crazy. And, like,
That's a
people are
lot.
getting photos and autographs, which autographs are also like over $100, I'm sure. But I
Plus, like the
knew
prints that you got to buy, like, ooh,
you have to, yeah,
it's a
it's
lot.
like, oh my gosh, like, you end up spending so much money because he wasn't doing meet and greets at all. You couldn't just meet him and say, hi, nice to meet you. You had to buy something. So you had to spend at least $100 to talk to him.
Which,
So
like, there are a couple things about that. I understand where they're coming from.
yeah,
Like, FanExpo's attendance is 140,000 plus.
it's a lot.
And we got to experience that. We like going from like FanExpo takes place in at least two buildings, a
Mm-hmm.
north and south building. So they're attached, but getting between the two buildings took at least 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least 20 minutes because of the lineup for the escalators, people trying to traverse between the two, and it was just such a crowded mess. Like shoulder to shoulder, could not move. It was like, if you're claustrophobic, do not go to
Oh
FanExpo.
yeah.
Like just do not go. And it's
Ooh.
hard to like stop for any tables you want to see. Like that's just not, you can't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe back in the day you could, but not
You
anymore.
can't even stop to look at the vendors without people like getting. It felt like The Walking Dead, truly. Like you could not stop to look at anything because people were just pushing into you, pushing past you. So we didn't spend all day there, but we basically like we walked around one part of the vendor area and then we went straight to the guest area to meet
Yeah.
Patricia and just see what's up. And then we met up with some friends and then we left because it was just like you can't get around.
Yeah. So like we barely did anything. We still had a good time, still had a nice time,
Oh yeah.
but we couldn't really do much, couldn't really participate. Um, but like I said, I do see where they're coming from with the cost. Like they're with the attendance, there has to be some type of filter,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, that filter is a financial one. It's just a lot, and I understand. I can see for certain people that's justified, and I do think Charles Martinet is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Oh
just because
yeah.
I'm a big fan, but like Mario is video games. Like he is the video game
Oh
character.
yeah.
So like he's the most important voice in video games, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
He's also an
Um,
older guy. Like Charles Martinet is just an older person, and
so
which is
like
fine.
be a little dark about it, yeah. But
But
we know
he's
you know what
like
we're all thinking.
his stamina level isn't as high as it probably was 20 years ago. So like,
Yeah,
you don't really want to wear him out because that's just not cool, right? Like,
Yeah,
so I understand having that financial sort of like barrier,
yeah.
but just not for me personally. I could never pay that much to meet
Now on,
somebody.
I agree. I do think that's a lot. But like, I feel like for Mario in particular, for Charles Martinet, like you said, he's an older guy, and just to say what we're all thinking,
Hmm.
you kind of want to meet him before he goes. You know,
Of course, of course.
this is a legend, and it's like of someone who, not just him specifically, like Mario as a whole,
Hmm.
is so influential on every person here,
Yeah,
regardless of if they play Mario or not. Mario, like, revolutionized 3D games.
yeah, it shaped
Like, I
it.
don't know, it just shaped it, or even like the 2D platformer. Every, like, a lot of very important video game milestones are from Mario
I
games.
mean,
Obviously, it's a bigger team than just Charles, but
yeah.
Charles brought life to that character, so he's still an important role in that.
I
So
mean,
I would like
Mario,
to, for that reason,
yeah,
meet
Mario
him.
64 was the first 3D game, wasn't it?
Not
Or
necessarily the
like,
first, but like it was one of the first with like 3D analog movement, and it like
yeah,
did it perfectly.
with the camera that can move around, right?
Yeah,
Thought I
yeah.
heard that somewhere.
I think it had the it has some kind of milestone. Like, I think you're right. I forget exactly what it is.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it had like the first 3D platformer with a free moving camera or something like that.
Yeah.
I would have to look that up. But I think you're right
Hmm.
about one of those
I
parts.
thought I heard that on Game Grumps, but
No, I
yeah.
think you're right. I think you're right. I would have to like check my sources, but something like that.
Um, but no, so like I understand him, charging a lot. But yeah, just for me personally, like I will say for Patricia, we still had to pay, or I still had to pay. But her prices were the lowest of I think any actor there, which is crazy because
I think they were.
I saw some people who I was like, who?
Yeah,
Like
there were some.
her
No,
neighbor.
not to put. I don't want to call out
I'm not
names,
gonna call out the
but
actress, but like the person sitting next to her. Okay, just for reference, Patricia charged 40 Canadian for a photo. For me, it was 30.
yeah, because you have
Um,
super American
because I
dollars.
have
Yeah.
super dollars. Even with the transaction fee, it was still like $31. And the person next to her was charging what, $80 for a picture?
Something like that.
And I was like, who
Uh,
is this? I didn't even recognize the characters on her thing.
both to her right and left were much more expensive. She was the
Well,
cheapest
to
one
her
there.
right was understandable because it was Tara
To
Strong.
her left, Tara
To her
Strong.
left, to our right, it was Tara Strong, who
Now we will
voices.
say right after that, we know Tara Strong is a divisive person right now.
Yeah,
Still undeniably a legend in voice
her
acting.
line.
You
She was
can't
booked and busy the whole time. She was doing,
deny that.
videos for people. So I know she makes bank at these cons. I
Yes,
will also say though, interestingly enough, as of yesterday, we are on her Instagram page because we're
we
in
are.
her reel. Um, she took a video for somebody or for herself. I think it was for herself, but she was signing a
She's
Harley
meeting a
a
Harley
Harley
Quinn cosplayer.
autograph. Um,
Yeah,
and she was doing the voice and she was showing her signing it, and we're dead in the background meeting Patricia Somerset. We're
we're
on
like fairly
her
prominent
page.
in that
No, we
video.
are we are literally more in the video than she is.
Yeah.
We're more in
So if you
frame than
want to
she
see
is.
us meeting Patricia Somerset, go to Tara Strong's
Her most recent IG
Instagram.
reel, I think. You'll see us.
It's on her reel, and it's also on her TikTok as well.
Yeah, it's on her TikTok. So we're on Tara Strong's page, which is crazy. I commented and made sure that people knew that we were in the background.
Yeah,
Nothing came from it, but I was like, I gotta take my shot. And I reposted it on my story and was just like, holy shit, like what are the odds of this happening? And she looked at my story, which
yeah,
I think she's really plugged into like social media. She's always posting on her story and she reposts like fan pictures all the time.
she does. Yeah,
So yeah, she looked at my story and I kind of felt like, oh, don't look, because I was like, I don't know. I feel weird. I
you're
actually feel weird about that. I'm like, don't look.
yeah,
Don't look. Like, it feels so
yeah.
invasive.
Stop! I was just talking about you, but you're too big to care. Stop.
Stop. It just feels weird. I don't know, because I'm also like, I'm not being like, "Oh my gosh, like I also love Tara Strong." I kind of just like kind of used her as the wrong thing, but I was just like, oh my gosh, like, have you ever been captured meeting one of your favorite voice actresses by one of the most famous voice actresses of all time, and not really being like, oh
That's
my
so
god, and
weird.
Tara Strong. It was kind of just like, wow, this girl is like the most famous voice actress, and she posted a video of me. You know,
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
I
But
just
also,
felt
like,
weird.
what are the odds of that?
What are
Like,
the
like I said, there's
odds?
140,000 people there.
Yeah,
Okay,
every
which
day.
is wild, and we just happen to be in the one Instagram, the reel that actually made the Instagram.
Well, okay, to be fair, she posted maybe one or two reels per day per the con
Yeah,
of
that's not what I
like
mean. Like, even with that
her
rate,
of just her doing a voice or her with a fan or whatever. She
yeah.
posted like four reels the whole weekend, and we just happened to be in one of them, which is
You know what I'm
crazy.
realizing?
What?
That is massively. I'm just thinking about the things we want to talk about today and how it's the theme of today is us just taking L's in regards to things we said. Uh, you said you wouldn't pay to see a voice actor,
Okay,
and
so
then here
last
you are.
episode I said I will never pay for a meet and greet. I'll never pay to meet a celebrity. But I really wanted to
But
meet
it's Zelda,
Patricia. It's
though. It's
Zelda. I
Zelda.
knew going into the con that I wanted to meet Patricia, and I was prepared to pay for a photo, but
Yeah.
not if it was more than $40. 30 for me, 30 USD. I would never have paid $80 to meet Patricia. I would have just looked at her and said, "Hey, good job," and then I would have walked away because I could have done
Yeah.
that.
So okay, I'm certain a lot of people had the same perspective with the people they wanted to see.
Yeah.
So who knows? So that's the first one. Second one, obviously the Sonic thing, which we'll go into,
Oh my
and the third
god.
one, I said I was going to beat Zelda in September 2023, and I didn't beat it until a couple days
And
ago.
we covered that
So
one.
yeah, I do want to say really quick. One thing I wanted to touch on really quick before we move on from Zelda. That's why I wore the hat because I really wanted to talk about Zelda for a sec. I've been waiting to talk about this with you for years. I know we were
Okay.
talking about timeline stuff before, but also, I kind of wish I didn't beat it.
Okay.
I had this game in my backlog for over a year. What did it come out? May 2023 or something like that?
April 2023. Yeah.
April? Wow.
April.
So like a year and a
It was like
half.
April 14th or something.
Shoot, like a year and a half of not beating this game. And as I was preparing to go against the last boss, Ganondorf, for those who haven't heard of him,
Hmm.
um,
Heard of him?
you you kept telling me different little things I would need to prepare myself for. You're like, you don't have enough hearts. Go get more hearts. Do more shrines. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Um, you don't have the gloom resistant clothing. He has gloom abilities. You're gonna want to get that. All right, let's do that.
Are you about to tell me that I'm wrong as shit?
No,
That I was in
I'm
the
not.
wrong?
No, no, no. That's very funny, but no.
Is this a rag on Mandy segment?
It's actually not. It's actually not. That's not
Okay.
what's going on
Just
here.
making sure.
Uh, I promise you, that's not what this is.
It's my name in the
It
podcast.
could.
By the way,
I could cut Neodoodlez. I can
I
cut
can
you out
mute
so
you
bad.
right now.
I can hang up and just carry this thing with myself. But no, that's not what this is. Um.
See the picture in the
So yeah,
beginning?
you're like get all these things. So I'm like I'm doing these things, and as we were doing it, this is actually Mandy was right
Oh.
situation because I was having fun doing these things. At first, I was like, I don't want to do the grind, and then I realized the grind's the whole game, and then I was having fun, like kind of going around, finding these shrines, exploring the depths,
Hmm.
right? And then out of nowhere, we decided to do the last boss,
Uh,
and I beat it on the first try. That's not the point of this. I loved it. It was very fun. Great fight.
hmm.
I could see how it's very challenging. And I only beat it on the first try because of how well you prepared me for it. But and like you made me make all this gloom food, all this stuff. Like I was basically untouchable by the time I
Hmm.
like listened to your advice about all this stuff. Um, I I wasn't done playing it. Like I want to keep playing it, but there's no point anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like if I don't have an end goal, I can't just like mindlessly grind a game. Like yeah, I can make my link stronger by doing the shrines, but like
But why?
if I don't have that motivation, I'm not going to.
Right.
And I did this with Super Mario Odyssey as well, where they have like over 1,000 moons in this game, but you can
Mhm.
beat them with like 100, like maybe like 100 moons.
Yeah.
So I did that as soon as I had the option of fighting Bowser. I did, and then I'm like, well, I have this massive game, and I've just kind of ruined it for myself. So
Mhm.
honestly, with these big games, you hear about how much content there is. Take your time with them. So
Yes.
like, I took a year and a half, but I kind of wish I took a little longer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not to say I'm disappointed that I beat it, but I was just like, now I'm in the mood to play it.
Right. And I did like that's been my thing about Tears of the Kingdom from the beginning is it is a game to be explored and enjoyed. Like yes, you can go straight to Ganon with, you know, a certain amount of hearts and really good combat skills. But then you lose this sort of like enjoyment of the whole game. It's the build up, it's the exploration, it's the little side quests and, you know, learning about the story piece by piece. And then when the finale finally hits, it really hits because you've
Yeah.
worked for it. And I think that's why this formula really works for me personally, is because, like, I was sobbing by the end of the game because
Mm,
I had taken those 6 months to really enjoy the game and get attached to certain characters. Like, I was crying over Tulin, which, like, in the
yeah.
beginning, I thought Tulin was just going to be this annoying little, like, sidekick, like,
Little
kid.
Caillou bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then by the end, I was sobbing over him. And so yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and that's, you know, that's why I love Tears of the Kingdom, because I really just like got to enjoy it, and the finale just really like got me. And I'm glad that I at least got to experience that with you for your
Yeah, I felt
first
like that was
time.
very special since you were the one who wanted me to finish it in the first place. Like it
Yeah,
mattered the most to you that I played this game so we could talk about it.
yeah,
And we got to talk about it. We were watching videos of like, oh, the difference between, the Calamity Beast Ganon and the
yeah.
Demon King Ganondorf, and like I knew some stuff. I'm not like a Zelda
Mm-hmm.
super historian or anything like that, but like I know some stuff.
Yeah, because like I've
And
had. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, and like you're very familiar with it as well. Like you
Mm-hmm.
you know your Ganondorfs,
Yeah.
but like there's still a lot of stuff that was kind of, what does this
What
mean?
does
After
this
when
mean?
you
Yeah.
play it, you're like, what is this? How is this possible? So we were
Yeah.
like fully indulging in these video essays about certain characters and how they link to other things, demise from Skyward Sword,
Right.
all this stuff, and that was very fun to do. We finally got to do that, so that
Mm-hmm.
was very special for me personally. That was kind of like a loose thread from the beginning of our interactions that we got
Yeah.
to tie up nicely together. Right? I
Well,
love that.
from the beginning, you know, I wanted you to beat the game because I immediately had this conspiracy theory, timeline theory that I needed to talk to somebody about, and I could have talked about it. I could have talked about it on stream, but I was afraid you would see my stream, and I knew that you hadn't gotten close to beating the game. So I was like, I really don't want to ruin this for
Damn,
him.
I was holding back the content for a year
Well,
and a half.
I
Shoot.
hadn't started the podcast yet, so it didn't really matter.
It
Um,
worked out. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if you, I really want to talk about it now. So if you have not beaten Tears of the Kingdom for some reason out there and you don't want it to be spoiled, go ahead and mute this next part. Um, I don't know when I'm gonna stop talking about it, but I guess look away. I'll give a thumbs up to the camera when I'm done talking about it. Um,
We'll forget to give a thumbs up. We're just gonna keep going.
oh, I will because I have ADHD.
We're gonna mute and we're gonna be like Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, but and we will get to that. But basically, I had this feeling at the end of Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, Jedi's muting. Okay, well, Jedi, I'll give a
Okay,
thumbs up. He's probably already
we'll
muted.
give a thumbs up. Yeah.
Um, at the end of Tears of the Kingdom, I had this feeling in the final boss fight when Ganon turns into a dragon. Which, if you've played any of Tears of the Kingdom, it's a very fitting final form.
Yeah, it was really cool.
When he was like, you know, circling the castle as a dragon, I had this moment of, when did this happen? Like, sorry, that sounds really confusing. In Breath of the Wild, there's Calamity Ganon, which is a some kind of like serpent looking ghastly thing
Like boar
circulating,
beast thing.
boar beast thing, very similar to a dragon, circling Hyrule Castle. And so when I saw that final form of Ganon in Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And in my stream too, you can see me say like, wait a minute.
Like calculating the...
No, literally, I was like, are they doing what I think they're doing? And what I thought they were doing was suggesting that maybe this took place before Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's in this form that's very similar to Calamity.
Yeah.
Ganon.
I guess in movements, yeah, and like...
And the more I thought about it, the more the more I considered, like, when they went down to the depths of Hyrule Castle in the very beginning of the game, and they triggered this event, like, it really got my brain turning about, like, well, Zelda was always going to go back to the Zonai era. Like, period. And maybe something triggered that and then everything happened. But wouldn't that mean that everything happened? You know, it was kind of like a mind trip. And for so long I was like, this, like, Breath of the Wild happened before, no, Tears of the Kingdom happened before Breath of the Wild. And there was this weird blip in the timeline that made everything happen the way that it did, the way that we were presented it. And so I told him this, and then we went on a deep dive on YouTube of, like, all the different types of Ganons, you know, the timelines, and, like, basically Calamity is just anger. It's not Ganon, it's just his anger. And so when he is a mummified corpse, he's been down there for hundreds of thousands of years, and what happened in Breath of the Wild is a result of his anger and rage.
Yeah, which is why I think, you know, it's fitting that in Breath of the Wild, Ganon never gets a line of dialogue. And they kind of say this at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the King of Hyrule, he tells you, like, there is no sentient form here anymore. It's just pure hatred.
Yeah.
He's been reincarnated so many times that he's just this, like, just beast that has no thoughts. And it's basically what was explained to us was that it's basically just like a projection from Ganondorf underneath the castle. And you can kind of see that happening at the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom when you go down the steps at the intro of the game and you see all the gloom kind of spilling out under the castle, which is why Zelda wanted to go there in the first place, because things kept, I guess, projecting from the bottom of the castle, and Calamity Ganon was this big projection from Ganondorf.
Yeah.
Who is the actual being.
He was there the whole time. Like, he was there through Breath of the Wild, hundreds of thousands of years before Breath of the Wild, all the way back to when he was first put there by Rauru in the Zonai era, when that all happened. He's been there the whole time. So Breath of the Wild happened because he was there. And which, you know, explains why they couldn't see that before, because they couldn't, you know, with Calamity, like, they couldn't go down there, all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, so, it was definitely way too messed up.
Yeah, and what happened?
Travel in that castle were definitely limited, especially with the Guardians around. Ooh.
Yeah, and everything that happened with Zelda and Link going down there, and what felt like them triggering all of the events, that it was always going to happen that way. They were just there at the wrong time. Like, Zelda, and that's even crazier to think about, because, like, the only reason that they were able to save Hyrule is because Zelda went back in time, right?
Yeah.
To restore the Master Sword, which...
Like, I'm sure they would have come up with some other option.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting that... I think one of the coolest things, and this one is confirmed, is that there were 2 Master Swords in Breath of the Wild. Because Zelda has been floating around as this is a big spoiler, Zelda's been floating around as this light dragon since thousands of years ago, until well after the events of Breath of the Wild. So during Breath of the Wild, she's still the light dragon with the Master Sword in her head, but the Master Sword is still in the woods.
That's why I was thinking that the timeline is all messed up, because she would have been a dragon. Yeah. Through Breath of the Wild. And that's why I had multiple theories. So she's still a light dragon, right? You know, in Tears of the Kingdom, which you didn't get to experience this as much, Ganon was using Zelda in the Tears of the Kingdom, the current Hyrule, he was using Zelda as a puppet. So when they would see her around, it was really Ganon using her as a puppet. So
Yeah.
I was thinking in Breath of the Wild, it's really Ganon and not Zelda pretending to be Zelda, but it's like there's holes, right? Because she would have had to be the light dragon the whole time. And then who was Zelda? Right?
I think there were two Zeldas. Just like there's two Master Swords, I think there were two Zeldas. Because it was definitely Zelda that they sent back in time after the events of Breath of the Wild. So I think there were two Zeldas and two Master Swords.
Yeah. So it's all a mind.
Zelda in Breath of the Wild was both Zelda the character and the light dragon. It's once you introduce time travel, it's
I know, that's why I was like freaking out, like I need to talk to somebody about this. And I could have talked to anybody about it, but I wanted to talk to you about it. So I'm glad that you've finally beaten it a year later.
And we'll definitely go more into it. I friggin'
Jedi, we are done.
We're done.
We're done with the spoilers. So if somebody wants to add Jedi, we're done.
Yes.
I'll give the thumbs up too. Moving on from all the conspiracy theories, it was great to meet Patricia. She's a wonderful person. It's cool to be on Tara Strong's Instagram page.
Yeah, love that.
Had a great time.
Actually, not necessarily moving on from conspiracy theories, because I know I mentioned this at the beginning. Yeah, I mentioned this at the beginning. I think mostly me made a fool of myself last MaeMaeTown podcast episode. Because I said a silly theory. Yeah, well, because I was the loudest about it in the clip, especially. Where I said, not only is Sonic 3 not coming out this year, but Keanu Reeves is also not going to voice.
But I felt the same way, though.
Of course. And I think, that has also aged like milk, much like a lot of the topics here today. Because almost immediately after we say that, a few days later, they released the trailer.
Literally a few days later. No, well, okay, a week later.
A week later. As of almost specifically maliciously against us.
Like, we've been talking about this since the trailer came out, and it was confirmed that Keanu is voicing Shadow, which I think Keanu is doing a great job. I liked what I heard so far. I'm excited to hear more. The trailer, by the way, holy shit, so good.
God, I'm getting chills like thinking about it.
So damn good. It met my expectations. It showed just enough to leave more room for like surprises. I think there's stuff that we're going to be surprised about. I think, I don't know if we're going to get additional characters. I hope we get Amy, but I think that they've got some good stuff planned.
Yeah, like I feel like because this one's going to be judged pretty harshly because it's the first almost adaptation of a game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it's going to be very, very different than the game. And I hope people know that, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. They have to realize that this is an adaptation. I know this game's going to be judged so harshly for this, but I hope people look beyond that, because it's going to be different than Sonic Adventure 2. But Sonic Adventure 2 is so, like, dearly beloved. It's so beloved by the Sonic community. I think it's the most important Sonic game.
Yeah.
So because of that, I feel like people are going to be like, I want this to be near identical to the game.
Mm.
I got my friends talking to me about it. They're like, I hope the Bile Lizard fights in it and the Death Egg.
We
and
said
I'm
that
like,
too, though.
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't think they will be. And like some people are like, if Rouge isn't in it, I'm not watching it. It's like, okay.
Okay, well, that's crazy.
That's crazy, and I understand like there's certain characters that are very, very important to the story, but the most important ones are Shadow and Maria.
Mm-hmm.
And we got them both.
Yeah.
And we can improvise the rest of the story. They have to condense this like 10-hour plus game into 2 hours.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have they have to streamline the story and the ideas. They also have to make it a wide appeal to audiences like kids. So they have to make it make sense.
Yeah.
They can't go into all this deep dark lore.
Well,
you have to kind of condense it.
I will say,
make it easily digestible.
Not only did they show the Maria and Shadow plotline, they also showed that they're staying true to the game with that plotline. And
They
everyone who's
are.
played Sonic Adventure 2 knows exactly what I'm talking about. And just the fact that they stuck to that plot line gives me a lot of faith in them.
Yeah,
They're not
I'm
messing
so excited about
around. They're not messing around. I was like, who was it? I think it was a friend. Oh yeah, I was texting my friend Jordan about it, and we were talking about the Maria in the trailer,
that. Yeah,
and I was like, how many people are going to laugh when this little girl gets killed?
where everyone's gonna cheer when
And that
this
is
when
just
this
like
kid.
that is a testament to how psychotic Sonic fans are. As a Sonic fan, we are
Yeah,
psychotic. Like,
we're all like, she's Maria. Spoiler alert for Sonic. If you haven't played Sonic, that's a very old game at this point, over
yeah,
20 years. When Maria gets shot, which is probably gonna happen,
early on.
the theater's gonna pop off. Like, it's gonna
Yeah,
pop off.
this little girl is gonna get shot in the movie, and I don't know if they're gonna show it or if they're gonna like imply it and then show, because they're in the trailer. You can see the aftermath of it. It's very clear.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's a goner.
She is a goner for sure, and that just gives me hope that they're sticking to original source material. So
Yeah.
I'm very
Like
excited.
I said, as closely as I can, I feel like that is, that's Shadow's Joker moment.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what makes him become the the dark edge lord that he
That's
is.
what makes him edgy, right?
That
That moment makes Shadow, that
yeah.
everybody loves how edgy that guy is.
I've
Um,
heard from people who've watched the trailer on that note that they're gonna kill off Tom. I think that's a bit of a
to give
stretch.
Sonic, that'd be cool
They're
to give
going
Sonic that kind of
to well, Sonic, because like
connection with
in the
Shadow.
trailer, Shadow, he's like, "What did you do?" And Shadow's like, "What I had to." And all I can think about is like he made Sonic feel the way that he does.
Yeah.
So I think Tom is getting frigged,
I
hurt.
don't know if those. I don't. I wonder if they have the courage to do that. I don't think they do.
I don't think they're gonna kill him off, but they are going to put him in extreme danger.
And you see that in the trailer as well when Tom is yelling for
Yeah,
Sonic, like
yeah.
in almost like fear or
Mm-hmm.
concern. It could be one of the two. Maybe Sonic's in danger and Tom's asking, like screaming at Sonic,
Yeah,
like, "I,"
it could
you
just
know?
be a one-off moment that's not really that dramatic, but they're just using
Yeah.
it for the hype for the trailer.
There's a
Um,
lot of cool things that could happen. I do think that I feel like Maria's probably going to be the only taking the
Big
only L in the
thing,
movie.
yeah, which is fine because that's
But
a
hey, if they
huge
do Tom, that'd
point.
be cool.
I think he'll be put in danger, but I don't think he's going to die. I don't think that I don't think that James Marsden would sign up for the third Sonic movie if he was gonna get killed off.
And okay, so you know what? Another thing is, you got to wonder what Sonic is saying when he says, "What did you
What did
do?"
you do?
Because, like, oh, maybe it's, oh well, he caused massive damage to the city, but you see Sonic's not concerned about that in the beginning of the trailer when he sees that he's blown up a large portion of the city,
Right.
and Sonic's just like, "Ha ha, he blew up the city." So Sonic doesn't care about damage to the city or the people.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder what is enough for Sonic to take that tone with
I
Shadow.
think I think what's going to happen is Shadow is going to imprison Tom somehow and put him in danger in some way, and Sonic has to get him out somehow. I don't know. I'm not sure. But
Hmm.
he's going to do something to try to make Sonic feel his pain, because Sonic is quite literally the opposite of what Shadow is, and I think he's gonna have to try to make him feel something.
Yeah.
But cutting class, he's referring to Shadow writing Sonic X Shadow erotic fanfiction. What did you do?
What I had to.
What I had to. Yeah, I'm excited for Keanu to voice Shadow. I think he's gonna do a really good job. I know we were like, he's not voicing him, and the reason why is because
We have
this
a very good reason for
we have a
this.
very good reason, and kind of salty that it turned out to be true, but only because the studio never confirmed that he was voicing Shadow,
It
and
was just like, it was mostly spread on the internet from, like,
sources
you know,
say
the nerd types who are like, "Hey, sources say," and then they
skibbity
all just
toilet.
like, Sources say
Keanu
it's
Reeves
Jimmy
is
Toilet.
voicing the edgelord Shadow the Hedgehog. It was like those kind of articles where like it was like sources say, yet Paramount declines to comment. Why would the studio decline to confirm?
Yeah. Well,
What for
sources
hype?
say that Jamie Lee Curtis is playing
Is
Garfield in the
playing
next Sonic.
Garfield, and Tobey
Yeah,
Maguire is playing Odie.
of course. Yeah.
That's our bit. That's our bit of the week right now. Is those articles that are like, get your skibbity toilets ready. Jimmy Lee Curtis is playing Garfield. It's like so stupid. And
And then those articles will be spread on like news outlets and stuff. It's great.
it'd be like, see,
And
it's
then like
true.
everybody believe them.
It's for real. Sources say that this is happening. It was the same
And
thing.
I
Same thing for
sorry, continue.
Keanu. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's all that we got for Keanu voicing Shadow. It's like, oh, sources say we got a source from this convention saying that he's voicing Shadow, but not once did
Yeah.
any official person confirm. Not even a rep of some kind. Nobody confirmed it, and then it turned out to be true, which I'm kind of
Yeah.
salty about because it's like, where's the principle? Where's the principle of confirmation from a verified source?
Which the example I like to use for this exact situation is news about upcoming consoles.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like discussion about the successor to the Nintendo Switch is one of the most annoying topics on the internet
Every time they do a
because
direct, they're like, "We're not going to talk about it."
they have to do that because people are so annoying about it. So not only is Nintendo over it, Nintendo doesn't want to talk about the Switch successor, but also some streamers I know have banned the phrase Switch 2,
Switch 2.
which is not going to be called Switch 2, but people are calling it Switch 2 like it's for a fact it's going to be called Switch 2, and like they'll be like, "Oh, did you know that the Switch 2 is going to have AMD 7000 graphics,
Okay.
and will finally run games at 120 FPS. Did you know that? Because that's true. Because the sources said, and I hate that talk
It doesn't
because
even
most of the time
exist.
it's never true, and it's just like just wait for Nintendo to say the thing because
That's
you
what I'm
sound like a
saying.
fool, and they're already getting upset about the details that they think they know, even though it's not true. It's like, why are you wasting emotional energy on this thing that was confirmed by what some guy on 4chan? Like
Yeah.
you don't need to get this invested yet. Nothing's been talked about. Wait for Nintendo to drop it. And it reminds me exactly of this, where people are like, "Oh yeah, Keanu Reeves is Shadow the Hedgehog," because it wasn't confirmed, and then now I'm kind of upset that it is,
Because an
even though
inside
he's
source
gonna do great.
says.
Even though it's gonna be great, and Keanu, deserves the role and is gonna nail it. I'm just sad that, like you said, it devalues official sources by
It
a lot,
does. It's like
by a
I
lot.
I'm a woman of principle, okay? I
Yeah,
I want to hear directly from the source that this is true. Because why are you scared for? What are you
yeah.
afraid of? You like it's already out there. Just say, "Yeah, it's true. He's going to be
If it
voicing
leaked,
Shadow." And you
if it
know it's
leaked and is
true.
like spread on the websites, then just drop the announcement.
Well, also Keanu doesn't have social media, so it's like he can't say it, so say it for him.
Yeah.
I don't know, cuz Idris Elba, he posted on Twitter that he was voicing Knuckles like well before the second Sonic movie. It's like we can't get that with Keanu, so we need the studios to confirm it because
Yeah.
it's just hearsay until they do. And of course now the trailer's out. I still it's like but at the same time, like until the Sonic account said, "Yeah, Keanu's joining the family." I still didn't know if it was true cuz like sure I hear a voice, but it doesn't say starring Keanu Reeves. It was just like, here's the third Sonic trailer, and here's a
Yeah.
voice. No confirmation still until the cast members were like, yeah, Keanu. But it's like, where's the freaking confirmation?
Yeah. Like somebody
What
say it,
is
please.
wrong with these people? Like, Paramount, I'm talking to you. What is wrong with you? Tell
I've just
me.
never tell us what's
Tell
going
me.
on.
Tell me.
I'm not watching this until you tell
I'm not
me.
watching this until I see these words come out of your mouth.
Somebody say Keanu.
I had two pumpkin cream cold brews today. I feel like I'm gonna.
And I'm not.
I literally have felt like I'm gonna tear my skin off all day. I'm not gonna get to sleep tonight. I'm so angry.
Oh, that's okay. We'll stay
I've
up
been
watching.
twitching all day.
Sonic. I don't know.
We finished The Walking Dead, so what are we? Well, I guess we're watching the Daryl series right now, and it's actually very good.
It is. It is very
It
good.
takes place in France,
Oh, the
which,
setting is lovely.
if you know Daryl Dixon as a character, it is perfection. He belongs in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. Like his the aesthetic of the show is unlike anything you've seen in The Walking Dead.
It's
It's
like Les
beautiful.
Mis. It's like the French like Revolution, like just the architecture. He goes from like the countryside of France up through Paris. Like it is such a cool concept, and I'm so glad that they put him in France because he's the coolest character on The Walking Dead, and he deserves that kind of storyline.
Exactly. Like Daryl definitely wasn't done. He's also like a cash cow for AMC, but and he's also their creation, so he's like their baby.
Cutting
But
glasses. I hated that series, but the nuns are dope. I think that's because I hate the French. I love that you censored French.
I love that as well. I think it's because it'll be seen as it'll probably be auto modded. But um,
Oh, really?
stop saying it. What are you doing? Oh no. No, I will say, so far the storyline's been okay, but aesthetically it honestly feels like Daryl's kind of gone to a different time period.
Yeah.
He's using like these medieval weapons and like
Yeah, it really does. It's different
it
than
kind
the
of feels like that, right?
it's a very different vibe from the American series. It really does feel like he's back in like I don't even, like the 1900s or something. It does feel
Yeah, yeah,
medieval. It really does, and I think that's why it's so cool. But I agree, the storyline, we're at the point we're towards the end of the series right now. The first season.
yeah.
The
We
second season
are
comes out
honestly
like
watching out of obligation at
we
this
are well,
point.
I love Daryl so much, and so
I do.
I'm gonna eat up anything that Daryl Norman Reedus is in, basically. But no, I think the second season starts coming out what next week?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So we're
Oh yeah.
almost at the end of season one. Hopefully, it's good enough to keep watching. But
I'll probably end up watching it anyway. I mean, I think we'll watch it.
yeah.
I saw before I ever saw the series or even finished Walking Dead. I saw a trailer for season 2,
Hmm.
and I'm in. I'm in already.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm excited.
Well, because Carol is in season two, right?
Yeah, because the season 2, I already knew this ahead of time. It's called Daryl Dixon Book of Carol.
Mm-hmm.
So we know Carol's there. I'm excited about that.
Well, like
Like I said,
they're
I've
the
watched the
duo.
trailer already. They're the duo, and they're back,
They're
baby.
back, baby.
They're so back.
Um,
So
yeah, we finished the main show. We finished The Walking Dead, which I actually on the plane I started it over because I wanted something to watch, and I was like, "There's nothing more interesting than The Walking Dead," and
you started
so
The Walking Dead over?
I started over. Yeah, I only watched the first episode on the plane, but it's so weird finishing the show and watching The Ones Who Live, and then going back to the first episode. So much has changed. Oh my gosh, but
It's
it's still
and everyone's a
so good.
baby.
Yeah,
Everyone's a little baby.
Everett Carl is like a little tiny baby. It's weird
And
seeing
Daryl with his
Lori.
short hair.
I know. Oh my god, yeah. And Steven
Because
Yin.
Daryl leans more into like the typical like problematic redneck, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Thing. Whereas like he becomes this kind of edge lord Shadow the Hedgehog later
Oh
on,
yeah, so
you
cool.
know, but he's not that in the beginning. He just seems like a redneck boy.
But also by the end of the show, he's like super open-minded and like
Oh yeah.
willing to learn about like, like ASL. He learns ASL.
Yep.
He's just like he's one of the safest people on the show. Like if it was real life, he would be one of the
Yeah.
safest people to be with. So I just love his character arc. Like it's just incredible, and he's such a cool character.
All his
Um,
best friends are gay,
all his best friends are gay.
right?
He's an
All his best friends
ally
are gay.
for sure.
He's
He's
a
an
big
ally.
ally, which is great.
Yeah.
Him and Aaron are be hanging out all the time, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Love
Aaron
that.
kind of sucks, but
Um,
like I love.
Aaron's like he's just so boring. Like they don't do anything with him.
He's like I think he's interesting for like a moment, and then he stops being interesting.
He has little bursts of interest, and then he falls
Yeah.
off pretty quick, which is a shame. I feel like he has a lot of potential with that
Yeah. Oh, Jedi. Yeah,
Jedi.
the spoils have been over for a while.
We gave you a thumbs up and tagged you. Sorry,
Yeah.
Spotify listeners.
Sorry,
We
Spotify listeners.
tagged you.
We
Anyway,
tagged you. Yeah, we talked about Sonic, and now we're talking about The Walking Dead.
we had a lot going on because we've been working at The Walking Dead for months now.
Yeah.
I initially when I was watching it as the show was coming out. So like from
Hmm.
day one, I think it was literally day one I started watching because I had read the comics prior, at least
Yeah.
some of it. So I was very, very genuinely excited that it was finally getting an adaptation. I'm also a big zombie fan as well.
Hmm.
Um, I know everything at the time when that came out was zombies, so it was kind of getting overplayed, but I still was eating it all up.
Yeah. I will say,
Um,
like, Walking Dead and The Last of Us are the only two zombie things that have gotten it right.
28 days later,
Oh, sorry, 28 Days Later, but that's a movie.
yeah, still
Yeah.
I'm counting the movies.
No, that's like one of the original, like, really good zombie mediums, I guess you would call it.
Yeah,
But what up, Larry? Sonic. We
probably.
so yeah, we talked a lot about the Sonic trailer, Sonic 3.
You missed it, Larry. We talked about.
Sorry, but this will be up tomorrow, so if you want to go back and listen.
Yeah,
But yeah, so we were talking about The Walking Dead right now. But Last of
yeah.
Us,
So I was. Oh, we'll watch the last one. I haven't seen it.
oh my God, I've seen it twice now.
I also haven't watched Follow. I know earlier, I believe Cutting Class and Jab was asking if we
Yes,
watched it.
I have
I
not
haven't
seen
seen
it.
Follow. Have you seen it?
Nope.
Maybe we can watch that. Maybe we can add it to the things we got to watch.
Yeah.
I know you wanted me to watch Game of Thrones. We'll
Oh
definitely
my
watch that
gosh,
too.
yeah.
So we'll do that. House of the Dragon.
There's so
We're
much.
watching all the shows, chat. So we
There's
will
so
watch them.
much to watch.
There's a lot to watch. I haven't seen Last of Us either. I know a lot of what happens because the game's been out
Hmm.
for over a decade. And I also played a little bit of the game as well.
Yeah, we'll do Last of Us first because it's only like 8 episodes.
Yes.
Season 2 comes out next year.
Um. Yeah.
They just
I think
dropped
so.
the teaser trailer. They just dropped like a month ago. So, was it a month? I think it was at least a few weeks ago. They dropped the first teaser, and season 2 is gonna be nuts. So we need
Hey,
to.
I'm excited because season 2 is going to cover the second game or what's going
Yep.
on.
So it's gonna be part 2, just like the game.
Okay.
Which if you haven't played the second game, um, highly recommend. I don't know. Maybe just wait for the show at this
You
point.
gotta. I think you gotta play the games on stream. I know you
I
said it's a little spooky, but like I feel like you should.
I thought about it. Like I like the Walking Dead Telltale games because it's not as spooky. It's more just like choosing options. But Last of Us is like very immersive, and that
It
scares
is,
me.
but I feel like content-wise, people like the struggle.
I know. And I love The Last of Us. Like I love watching the playthroughs, but I've never played the game myself because I'm just like so scared, but I heard Steven Yeun played it, so I think I need to play it now.
And I think you gotta play it. That's Stephen Young.
I watched his actors on actors with him and Pedro Pascal, who's in The Last of Us, and which is such a genius matchup, by
That's
the
a
way.
great matchup.
And this was right after The Last of Us came out, I think, the first season. And
Yeah,
they were both just gassing each other up the whole time. And Steven was talking about how he came to set for The Walking Dead and had just spent the last night finishing The Last of Us, like the game.
yeah,
And he was just like gushing about how amazing this game was because the last scene of the first game, and this is
yeah,
not a show spoiler, it kind of is, but in the game it's just you're just walking and having a conversation with the other character.
yeah,
Nothing is happening, there's no danger, but you have to push the stick to make the characters walk and continue the conversation. And he
yeah.
was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I highly recommend, if you haven't watched the actors on actors with Steven Yeun and Pedro Pascal, it is so amazing.
I definitely want to watch that for sure. I feel like I
Yeah.
definitely need to watch the show first to really fully appreciate it.
Yeah, I would.
Since I've only watched or not watched Last of Us at all, but I've
Hmm.
only seen things of the game in parts and only played
Yeah.
the beginning of it. And I know key story moments, so I'm not like I
Hmm.
can catch spoilers for Last of Us and still probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't
They,
remember what I was gonna say about Last of Us,
well, they stayed
but
they stayed extremely true to the game, like almost like point for point plot
I've only
wise.
heard positive reception for it.
It'll make you cry. Like it is one of the most beautiful shows I've ever seen.
I remember when it came out, I was kind of I will say I'm pretty picky with games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm right. I wish I could enjoy certain things more than I do. I remember that style of game just wasn't for me. Like I
Yeah.
didn't like um, very cinematic games unless
Mm-hmm.
that was the whole game. Like for Telltale, it was different. I liked how it was mainly just like a choose your own adventure book kind of thing.
Right.
But I didn't like Naughty Dog's style of making games like Uncharted and Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
So when I played it when it first came out on PS3, I played it almost day one, and I really tried to keep an open mind about it. But for similar reasons that Steven Yeun really likes it,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it at the time. I didn't
Mm.
like that they would constantly take that control away from me, control the pace of the characters. It would almost take me out of the game
Yeah.
rather than being immersive. Um, I don't know. I felt like I kind of had to play to the script of the game as well.
Right.
But now, I've grown up a little bit since then. It came out a while ago. I see that that is an artistic choice, and
Mm-hmm.
that helps control, like, basically craft the experience that the developers wanted. Is it still my preferred style of game? Not necessarily, but
Mm-hmm.
I see the art and value in that type of storytelling and gameplay.
Yeah.
So I think overall it's a very good experience, and I should go back and give it a shot. I do have still on my shelf
You have the game.
a sealed copy,
Wow.
still unopened,
Huh.
of The Last of Us Remastered on PS4. So maybe I'll bust this open and play it. I don't know when I got this. I don't know how I got this,
um,
but
that's
yeah,
cool. I think what I love about the way that The Last of Us is, like the creative choice that you're talking about. Um, I think it kind of creates a false sense of security, which is very
okay.
much like how life would be if you were in the apocalypse. Like if
Hmm.
you are in these conversations with characters where like the world is still happening around you, but you're in this conversation with a character. It's like you like anything could happen, right? Like a zombie could
Yeah,
come out from the room, or you could a noise could happen that, initiates a dangerous situation, but the game is prioritizing you being focused on a human experience or a human interaction, right? I think The Last of
hmm,
Us does that very well, where it's like, "Hey, I'm just pulling from this joke book, blah blah blah." But then it's like anything could happen because you're still able to look all around you. You can still look
yeah,
off and maybe there's something dangerous approaching you, and there usually is something eventually that's going to
yeah,
try to attack you. And I think just like creating that false sense of security is so, like, it plays such a huge part in the immersiveness of the game, because it makes it feel like, "Oh, I'm in this world where like
yeah.
I'm trying to have a nice conversation with this person, but also like something could kill me at any moment." And I really like that. And I think I like prefer watching playthroughs because I feel safe. Like I can watch this scene play out and I'm not the one that's in control. Like if something bad happens, I'm still safe. Like
Yeah,
I think that's why I don't like scary games, because I don't like being the one who has to fight back, you know?
because if the characters die, that's like blood on your hands.
Yeah, it
You're
feels
like,
too
no, I
real.
messed up. No.
It feels too real for me. So that's why I've only watched The Last of Us. I haven't played it myself because that game is fully immersive, and like I think it would give me palpitations.
You know what? I don't actually have a ton of experience with horror games. Most of the time, they give me really bad motion sickness, so I can't play them because
Mhm.
often they're like first person or like
Right.
fully 3D or whatever. I like the idea of them. I played a lot of my first horror game was Resident Evil 4 on GameCube,
Which
and
Noodle
I love
just
that game.
name dropped Resident Evil as you're saying that.
Yeah, Resident Evil is a big one. I
Yeah.
love specifically the fourth one, um, mostly out of nostalgia and like loyalty, I guess.
Mhm.
But there's these enemies in this game called the Regenerators, and the sounds they make and the
Mm.
movements they make and the way they look, everything is so genuinely terrifying about
Mm-hmm.
these enemies that they used to give me like a physical fear reaction when I would
Yeah.
see them or interact with them in the game. Like I would have to like pause and like brace myself for them. And there's this one scene in the game. It's a one-off little room that you go into,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an old kind of just uh broken down prison cell. There's like 5 or 6 jail cells, like 3 on each side, so
Mm-hmm.
6 of them. And you can hear a regenerator. You can hear his awful breathing,
Oh.
but you can't see where it is. But you can see the door at the end of the hall, but it's kind of a dark room. You can see the door. So I'm like, okay, you know what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to just like I'm so scared right now, so genuinely scared. I'm gonna have to close my eyes and run to this door.
Yeah.
So I do that. I close my eyes, I run to the door, and I'm hitting the button to open the door. I'm not hearing anything. I look up, and the staircase is broken. And I turn
Oh.
around and he's there. I turn off my GameCube so fast. I didn't play it for like a couple days. I'm like, no, I'm absolutely not. I'm not dealing with this. And that's the most scared I've ever been in a game.
I think you showed me a video of these things, didn't you?
I did because we were talking about these, and they are
Mm.
nightmares. I would love to. I have played Resident Evil 4 on stream. I genuinely love that game. I think I can get to that game no problem without even feeling a thing. But
Yeah,
uh,
it's okay.
well, it's like I'm just so used to it. Like I love that game. I've played through it so many times now. But that first experience, I'll never forget how it made me feel in that
Yeah.
first time. Right
Yeah.
now, I know the threat. I know the rooms. I know the game, so it's like less scary. But
Mm-hmm.
I still love that game. It's very very
Yeah.
good. I honestly recommend it. I think you would enjoy it.
Oh God, I don't think I could, because like the zombies in The Last of Us are so terrifying. You know, there's different breeds of zombies in The Last of Us. In The Walking Dead, there aren't really, like, they're all kind of the same. Some are more evolved than others, like they can pick things up, they can
Which they don't really
climb.
go into.
They
You're
don't.
right.
They show it in like the last two episodes, and then they don't explain like why this is happening, why they're this
Yeah.
evolved. But I think like naturally over time, as species evolve, same with the walkers. You know, like naturally over the course of 10 years, they're going to evolve in some way, even if that's just the ability to climb or run or pick things up, like
I feel like the ability to pick up a tool and use it
as
is
a
fairly
weapon.
advanced though.
That is very
Because
advanced. Yeah.
like animals can't really do that. There's been like examples of like maybe monkeys using
Yeah.
rocks to break things open, but like that's about it.
Yeah. But monkeys, they've had a long time to
They've had a long
evolve. Um, but I think that's why I like The Last of Us so much, is because in the show, they go into a lot of detail as to how it happened, where it
time.
happened, where it started. Um, and there's like a huge time jump. It's like 20 years later from the first um the open, not to give too much away, the opening scene explains what the infection is, and basically it's cordyceps. It's like a fungi.
Yeah.
And so with like, you know, with fungi, it evolves naturally. It needs a host, and it's like its main goal is to spread as much as possible, which is perfect for a zombie concept. And so, you know, it evolves over the course of 20 years to where like they look different, they act different, they sound different. And I really enjoy knowing the why and the how of that kind of stuff. So that's why The Last of Us really does it for me. I love The Walking Dead, but it's missing that sort of like explanation that
They
Last of Us
tried
gives.
in the beginning with the whole CDC thing
Mm-hmm.
where they went into that like big lab.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out the science behind the walkers, and it was. I feel like a lot of that scene contradicts later scene when they have the variants. Oh, the walkers are evolving, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like, didn't you say that couldn't happen in the first season? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to rewatch it like how you're doing. Maybe we'll rewatch it together. Who knows? Maybe we'll
Yeah.
watch it in the Discord. I don't know.
Maybe,
Shout out to the
yeah.
MaeMaeTown
I
Discord.
would.
Um, but I don't know. I want
But
them to evolve more. So I want running zombies.
yeah, which like in I will say in the adaptations, they kind of show that a little bit, like not self-evolving, but like inducing that.
Yeah.
like through a lab. Um, but I think with the Walking Dead, it's a more realistic approach to an apocalypse because we only see from the really from the perspective of like normal people who weren't affiliated with the government, weren't affiliated with like the CDC, and that's something that you and I would experience. We wouldn't know how this
We'd be
happened.
left in the dark.
We would have no
It's like,
clue what measures were taken to stop it,
yeah,
to prevent it. And so The Walking Dead is great because it's a very realistic perspective of a zombie apocalypse. We would have no clue until they started bombing. You know, that's
yeah,
all we would know is that, oh, people are eating each other and now the military is bombing downtown Atlanta. Like, that's
yeah.
it, right?
You see this in the beginning of the Daryl series when it shows the beginning of the the outbreak, the beginning of the fall, as they call
Yeah.
it. Sometimes they call it that. And you can see like even though people are getting eaten in the street, there's still not that sense of urgency yet. They're still having time to go home and get their
They
stuff, gather
think
the
that
things.
there's gonna be that the military is gonna come and fix everything.
Yeah, and they don't even know the extent of the issue because they're walking up to, this ambulance on the side of the road that has like three walkers around it, and they're still getting out of the car to talk
Yeah,
to
they're
these
like,
people.
"Hello, can you please help us?"
And it's like, okay.
Like,
So like it doesn't set in, and for us, because zombies in our world exist in the media. we've
yeah,
we've been exposed to like zombie movies and things, but in these universes usually that's not the case. They don't have
right.
any concept of zombies, so it's like it's such a foreign thing that they won't really have the like capacity to really perceive it yet.
Well, also, if I see one of those things in downtown Atlanta, I'm gonna assume this person's on drugs, and I should probably just keep my distance. Not that they're gonna run up to me and take a bite out of my neck, you know?
People keep,
So
people in these cities,
they
Toronto's
do,
the exact same.
they
They
do,
run up to
but
people and just randomly punch or stab or sometimes bite people. This happens in the big
it
cities.
happens.
Both you and I are very used to this.
Yeah, so for me, it wouldn't my first. I mean, now I've seen multiple zombie shows. I know when I see somebody walking funny, I should probably get away as quickly as possible. But my first thought is not going to be, oh, it's a zombie.
Yeah.
We're all doomed. I'm not going to think that until, you know, shit starts going down. Um, but yeah, I like. And they show some of
Uh,
that in The Last of Us too, where people aren't really
yeah.
taking it seriously. Like, and I won't go into it because I really want you to watch the show. But The Walking Dead shows more of that, like human reaction, where it's just like, no, the military, they'll be here soon. Like, oh, should we, let's go to Atlanta because there's a refuge. Like, oh no, the
Oh, is my
capital.
internet dying?
You're still here.
Okay. My stream froze.
I still got you.
Oh.
I hope everybody
Okay.
can see
Let
you.
me refresh the stream.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah, my stream just froze for no
Oh,
reason. Okay,
okay.
never mind. I'm back. Got it. I have you, so I can see you. That's why I have your stream up.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the capitals are the first thing to go. Like,
Yeah.
when you see those helicopters coming, you better hightail it out of there, girl. I don't even know where I'm gonna
That's what
go.
I'm saying.
I guess I'm gonna drive towards Canada.
You gotta get it, but I live near Toronto, and that's getting
Well,
bombed
you
too,
just gotta.
probably.
I don't know how you're gonna get out of there. You don't have a car.
I'll
Your uncle
I'll
has a
take an
car.
e-bike. He has also e-bikes. I feel like the e-bikes will be better.
True.
The roads are gonna be packed, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
be on the side trails,
Yeah.
So that's what I got. If you're in a zombie apocalypse, get a bike. I feel like
Get a
that's pretty good.
bike, a
Get a
motorcycle
bike. Get a
especially.
get a get a cow.
Get a cow. Get
You
a
know,
horse.
get a
Horses will be
cow.
very valuable.
Oh, that's true. Maybe, I don't know why I defaulted to cow. We've been watching a lot of a lot of North Korea
Oh my
uh,
god.
videos, and they had cows that were doing a lot of the pulling of the stuff. I don't want to get into that quite yet. I
We
just want to say,
Okay, go
one
carry
thing
on.
just to touch on to your point earlier. I like when you said that The Walking Dead takes a realistic approach, which is why I think I have no problem with them, um, like not really going into details about the walkers or like
Mhm.
how their origins, or like they never touch on the origins. I don't think.
Mm-mm.
Whether it be a religious thing or a virus or whatever the frig, how did we all get it? What happened? Where did this originate from? doesn't matter because they will never find out. Probably the people who
Yeah.
knew those details are probably dead.
Yeah.
So normal people won't figure it out. And I compare it to like 28 Days Later, and the first shots of the movie, you see the origins of the rage virus,
Mm-hmm.
where you see them experimenting on these monkeys, like
Right.
torturing them basically, and then one of them freaks out and bites the person and gives them the rage virus.
Uh-huh.
But that information never becomes useful to any character in the movie. It
Right.
just gives us context, and we don't really need it, to be honest.
Because what are we gonna do with this information? Like, it's
What do we?
over.
Because the main character starts his journey exactly the same as Rick Grimes. He wakes up in a hospital
Yeah.
alone, and then he wakes up in this crazy world. We don't even know what happened to him, really,
Right.
do we?
I can't
Do we know
remember.
what
It's been
happened
so long since I've seen that movie.
to him? I have to watch it again. I do want to
We
watch it
should.
again.
We should watch it again.
Absolutely, we should also watch Dawn of the Dead as well. It's a great
Yeah.
movie. Oh my god,
Oh.
love that movie.
Um. But yeah, I mean, in Georgia, there are a lot of like farms and stuff like that. So I feel like if you just start driving like west, like you'll get away. Luckily, where I live, I can potentially get away,
Mm-hmm.
but there is traffic everywhere. Like
Yeah, because you're just outside the big city.
I'm like
Same with
25
me.
minutes from downtown. So there's a chance
Exactly.
if
Yeah,
I don't
same
take
with me.
if I don't take the right back roads, I'm screwed. But like hopefully I'll never have to think about this in my life, but I always, we watch a lot of zombie stuff. So naturally I'm always like, what would I do if I, saw on TikTok that somebody's neck got bitten at the mall or something.
Yeah.
Like I would start packing and I would probably start heading towards Canada.
Well, that happened in, I think, Florida, like maybe 5 years ago or so, that
Mhm.
some guy was like eating someone on the highway. And people were
Jesus
like, is it
Christ.
happening? Is it friggin' happening? I think it was Florida. And then it was just chalked up to, oh, it's just Florida.
Well, there was also the whole bath salts thing when people were on bath salts. Remember that?
I think I remember that too,
Maybe that
yeah.
was just it was in America, but people were like consuming bath
I think that's what it
salts,
was. I think that's what it was. I
and they
think
were
we're talking
literally
about
like
the same event.
zombies. They were like eating people, like biting. They were going nuts, like rabid animals, and it was so
Yeah.
scary.
I remember thinking, all right, here we go.
That was like 10 years ago. Yeah, that feels right. Oh God, people are just so scary. Like even like
I'm
being.
I'm still
Oh
I'm still ready. You know it's bad when, like, and I know this is like what everybody says. When you're watching these shows and you're thinking, God, that'd be nice.
the apocalypse.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah, sometimes when I'm watching The Walking Dead, especially the later seasons when they kind of have shit figured out, I'm like, man, they never have to pay taxes. They don't have to worry
No
about
taxes, no
rent.
bills.
I mean, yes,
They don't have to worry about borders. They
they
don't gotta
have to
worry about none of that.
hunt. Yes, they have to survive. But like, there's no capitalism. Like, that
And
sounds
like in
really
these
nice.
in these universes, I will learn those skills. I just don't know them because I don't need them right now,
Yeah.
right? But like, yeah, I'll learn how to like do all these things fairly quickly early on.
Yeah.
So like that, learning those skills and like, oh yeah, you have to farm and hunt and forage and
Mhm.
whatever. That can all be taught. Like that's not an issue.
Yeah.
Everything we know is taught, right?
Yeah.
So like that's fine. I'm willing to do that in exchange for like the freedom that the apocalypse kind of brings. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I mean, like, oh God. Yeah, you have to like know a doctor. You have to know somebody that studied medicine for sure, just in case. Um,
Yeah.
you have to be able to fish, hunt, fight. Like, there's so much that goes into it. And I've always wanted to learn how to like throw knives. I think that would be a really cool
That'd be
skill to
really cool.
have. Like, even just like being at home, I'm like, man, if somebody like breaks in, I can just like throw a knife and kill them. Like, that would
Yeah.
make me feel so safe. Um, but cutting classes, I remember feeling the same way. But then I remember how much they'd all stink of absolute shit.
They
Would
would
that,
smell. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be zombies. Like
yeah,
it can be like, oh, for example, the mushroom ones from The Last of Us.
same thing though. They're trying to eat you.
Yeah, but like I don't think they would smell as bad.
Well,
You know, I
yeah.
feel like
Mm,
I don't. I think they would like maybe, but not as much as like the decade-old rotting flesh in The Walking Dead. Like, that's foul.
Well, they're
Right.
still corpses. They're still dead for sure, but they're being used by a mushroom. So it's like,
I feel like they're being consumed slowly by that mushroom too. Like,
yes.
the energy is being used somewhere.
Yeah, they're still gonna
Much like
smell.
using old matter as fertilizer for a tree. I feel like it's a
Hmm.
similar concept.
But also,
But
I was thinking more so about like how everybody else would smell. Like how there's like no, there won't be any toothpaste at one point, right? Like whenever we're watching the show, that's something that we always, anytime somebody kisses in the show, I'm like, oh God,
yeah,
oh no. But I guess they get blind to it at some point.
there's this moment on stream. It's very funny actually, where I had my mom join me on stream. It was from one of my birthday streams. I think it was my 31st birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I had her join, and we're just talking about her for a little bit, and we're talking about her favorite characters in these shows. I forget how the subject came up, but she was talking about how her favorite characters are Daryl from The Walking Dead and Sam from Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her which one she prefers, and she said, "Well, Sam's the hot one." She said, "There's the scene where he's like working out, and it is great." I said, "Is Daryl not the hot one? Like, which one's hotter?" She's like, "No, I just know he would stink." Like, she's
He would
absolutely right.
though.
And you know what? That's a big deterrent. You can be as cool as you want, as great of a guy. Daryl's a cutie pie, right? He's
Yeah,
very sweet anytime he shows emotion, and he has those moments. And you're like, "Aw,
I love
Daryl,"
him.
but he's a stinky guy,
He's
and I think that loses him
greasy.
a lot of points.
Now I know that Norman Reedus smells really good. Like I know that he has to smell really good. But they do a really good job of making his character look disgusting.
Oh yeah, they do. He is ratty as hell all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
I wanted to have the makeover scene where they clean him up, and it
I
just never
know.
happens.
Because that would feel just wrong, like it would feel like going against, and we've seen him like right after he like bathes, right? He still kind of looks the same.
He looks exactly the same, and you only see him bathe once, and it's in this recent
It's in
series.
the
Other than
adaptation.
that, you never see him participate in hygiene. If it rains, that's his shower.
That's a shower.
Um, you get one scene of Carol cutting Daryl's hair, and it's
Mm-hmm.
after they first reach Alexandria, and then she's like, "Oh, you kind of have to blend in with the Alexandrians, right, to not freak them out." And like, she barely cuts his hair. She cuts his hair, but like not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And like, he doesn't look any cleaner. They make sure
Man.
that he's still a street rat, and like, he's not like that in season one. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's a little bit looks like a dirty like redneck guy,
He's
but
more
like
clean cut though. Like his haircut
definitely more
is,
clean cut. Which I
yeah.
like the long hair, but you got to keep it a certain way, and he doesn't. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, just from like a hair department perspective, like they slay. Like it looks
oh yeah,
so good for his character. That is a signature cut that you see it and you immediately think Daryl Dixon.
yeah,
It's that little like wolf like mullet cut. It's perfect for him.
it's amazing. Yeah, like
Oh,
that look, that kind of ratty, dirty look, is intentional,
yeah.
and because it's so intentional, you know that they've done an incredible job
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um but no, I just like think about going back to the stinkiness.
yeah.
I just think about like up until like toothpaste was a thing. I don't know when toothpaste was invented, but like people like when people kissed and stuff like before toothpaste was invented, like oh my God, what did they
I feel
do?
like when I wake up dehydrated, my breath smells terrible, and they're doing this every single night. You know what I mean?
Without fixing it,
Like,
like they're just living like this and their teeth are
yeah,
rotting out. There must have been some rinse
yeah.
that they used because they had to have done something
I
in
think
like
it
the
was like
1800s.
eucalyptus plants that they used to like kind of rub on their teeth. I think that was a thing.
Yeah.
It was either that or aloe. I think it's eucalyptus.
Like I know they
And they
had
do
it
this in the show too. It's
eucalyptus.
yeah, I think they do that in The Walking Dead. I think
Hmm.
they do that, but
They
I
did that
can't
in
be sure.
Lost. Remember? Son was like, "Here, everybody, take some
That's what it was. It
eucalyptus."
wasn't. Yeah, I'm
It's like,
thinking of
good
Lost. I'm
on
mixing up my
you,
shows
dude.
now.
She knew
Yeah,
people
let's
were
just
about to start stinking. She was like, "Please, for the love of God, take this."
time to rewatch Lost
Oh my
again.
gosh, dude, Lost is so good.
Yeah,
Surprised there were
that's
no lost characters in Walking Dead.
um not until the latest series,
Well, yeah,
which
the
was Those Who Live.
adaptation.
Yeah, the latest one, which was The Ones Who Live, John Locke,
Hmm.
played by Terry O'Quinn, obviously, is kind of the main villain. Now he's
Yeah,
not in there a lot, but he's the main villain figure in this
he's
latest
so
season, and
good.
he kills it again. He's so good. He hasn't lost it. He
Yeah.
honestly looks the same.
He plays these like wannabe military types so well.
Oh God, he does.
Oh,
He's great.
it's so good. Yeah. He looks great in like the costume, the uniform, everything. Like he looks awesome. He also hasn't aged like at all.
Yeah, because he's one of those people who have they've always been old. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like they've never had a young moment in their life like Christopher Lloyd. You know,
Yeah.
he's looked the same since Back to the Future. When he's
Yeah.
playing Doc, he looks the same now. And I feel like
Hmm.
Terry O'Quinn is that same old baby from Lost. You know
But
what I
he
mean?
looks so good though. Like he has
He
such
looks
great
great.
features. Like his eyes are so pretty and like he's
Oh
just
yeah, beautiful. He has like these glowing eyes.
yeah. He
Yeah,
like
great
he
smile too.
he's yeah, he has a very handsome smile. Like even when he's
Yeah,
not showing teeth, like he has a
even when he
very
shows
beautiful
like when
face.
he smiles with the orange in his mouth.
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget. That caught me off guard in Lost. That was like what, episode 1?
That was episode one. Yeah.
That caught me off guard, dude. That was so
Oh my
weird.
goodness.
That
I
set the
want to
tone.
rewatch it. Well, this is gonna be a hard question. What did you prefer between Lost and The Walking Dead?
Oh man, how can I possibly pick? Like
Choose.
I'm gonna
I
say
think I'm gonna choose Lost.
Lost, really? I
I
was gonna
think I'm
say
gonna
The
choose
Walking
Lost
Dead.
because it had all the moments. It had the mystery. It had the
Mm-hmm.
humor. It had almost every single character was good.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't really too many weak points in the cast, and
Mm-hmm.
if there were, they killed them off earlier.
Less seasons too, right?
Yeah, there's 6 seasons, so it's an easier watch as well. Still long, still
Yeah, still
definitely
a
long,
long.
but easier to consume. And just like I always wanted to watch the next one. Whereas Walking Dead, very intense show, very well written,
Mm-hmm.
very good characters, but I like less of the characters
Mm-hmm.
in that, and it's also so depressing. Like it's such a dark, bleak
Oh,
show. Nothing good happens in The Walking Dead.
yeah, it's kind of
Whereas like
hopeless.
with Lost, you get the Hurley and Sawyer episodes, and those two are so fun
Yeah.
together.
Well, there's a higher
Right?
chance that people are gonna survive in Lost.
Yeah,
And like people die in Lost for sure, but like there's no immediate danger like zombies, you know.
yeah. There's the others, but who even knows what's going on
Well,
with them?
that's such a like it's such an abstract concept, you know, and like it
You know what? I
yeah.
finished Lost several times. I still don't really know what the threat was.
Exactly. It's like yeah, they're on a deserted island and there's like this weird like entity thing happen, but also like just people like
You know that entity never reaches the beach. It never goes to the beach. Not
right.
a single time. Why not just stay on the beach?
So they're safe, like the beach is safe, but in The Walking Dead, nowhere is safe. Like
Yeah,
you could be just by yourself at the wrong time, and then a walker comes and bites you on the neck, and then you're dead. And that's like
yeah,
that's a constant fear in the show. But like Lost, it's like there are plenty of moments of just like enjoyment, and they're just
yeah.
on the beach, you know.
God, I gotta rewatch both of
I know.
them.
They're both so good. They're both like at the same level for me personally, like
Yeah,
in terms of
I think
investment.
they are both my favorite like TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
And just like Walking Dead, without major spoilers, has the most intense moment in any show I've ever seen ever.
Oh my
Um,
god, yeah.
I remember even this recent time watching it with Mandy, I not only was I nervous because of her reaction, like I wasn't sure if she's gonna want to keep watching after the events of this episode, but I
Hmm.
was like genuinely stressed out from seeing the scene again. Imagine the first time I watched it. Oh my god. Like
Yeah.
I love that feeling of being so stressed out watching a show. I've only gotten that one other time, and that was with Breaking Bad in some
Hmm.
scenes. Also incredible show. You said you haven't watched that one, right?
Breaking Bad, I've seen maybe like 2 or 3 seasons of it.
Okay, I think we should eventually watch that one too, because that's another
Yeah.
incredible show. I recently rewatched it, just as good as I remember. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
considered the best show on TV ever
Yeah.
by a lot of people. I think for a good reason. Not my favorite, but it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
We
we'll
have
do
so
that
many
one as
shows to
well.
watch. Another show I
We have a lot of shows.
want to show you is Westworld, which features Aaron Paul.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I know you're saying that as well, and I definitely want to check that out.
yeah, that's
That was
another.
another AMC show, I think, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that's another huge like emotional commitment though. So it's like we can wait to watch that one.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm fine watching that. I'm excited to watch that one. I've been recommended that one for a while.
yeah, it's really good.
Oh, JT in the chat says Better Call Saul is fantastic as too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 2 seasons into that. I haven't finished that, but I really want to. I get clips pushed to me on like TikTok,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh, I gotta watch this show. It seems good, good.
Fun fact about Better
So,
Call Saul: there's an actress in the first, I think, I don't know how many seasons she's in, but she plays the like secretary,
uh,
younger girl, brunette. I
oh,
think
okay. Yeah, I know the one you're talking
she's
about.
kind of freckly.
The younger girl at the law firm. Yeah, I forget what her name is, but she's like always overseeing Saul and whatever he's doing.
Yeah, so that actress, Jessie Ennis, I actually was her stand-in on a Melissa McCarthy movie.
Oh,
And
really? It
she
was
is,
her.
yeah, she is so incredibly sweet. And yeah, I was her, like, if you don't know what a stand-in is for a film, it's basically like somebody who stands in place for an actor when they're setting camera and lighting. And so basically like I would be the first person. She would rehearse the scene, like the blocking, and I would come in
Yeah,
and stand in and do the blocking for her while they set the lighting so that she wouldn't have to stand there for, an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever.
yeah.
And then she would come in and do the scene and I would go, chill out or whatever. But I did that for about 2 months, and
That's so cool.
it was great money, super easy, and she's really awesome. I have a picture with her on Facebook somewhere.
Her, I love that because her character in the show is such a genuinely good character.
Hmm.
Like so funny. She's this overbearing,
Yeah.
supposed to be underling to Saul or
Hmm.
Jimmy at the time, and she's just like constantly overlooking and backseating every single thing he
Yeah.
does. Um, and it's a really good character and a really good moment in the show.
Which also
So I
I'm
think
in this movie. I'm in a Melissa McCarthy movie for a scene.
what's the movie called? What's the movie called?
It's so this movie was a stinker. Okay? I will say that
It wasn't well received.
it went to theaters. It did not do well. I knew it wasn't going to do well when we were making it. Um
You said you're the star of this
I'm
movie.
the star of the movie, yeah. No, I'm in this it's called Life of the Party. You might have seen it, you might have not, which if you haven't, totally understandable. But yeah, I think it's on Amazon Prime or something. It might be on Max now. But there's a
I
scene.
forget what we watched it on, but we did check it
I
out.
did show it to you.
Yeah.
So it's basically Melissa McCarthy's character joins her daughter at college and joins her sorority with her, which is funny because we were just talking about sororities last time, or was it last time or 2 weeks ago?
It was yeah a while
I
ago.
guess it was 2 weeks ago. But yeah, so Melissa McCarthy joins this sorority, and it's basically about her. It's like an extremely goofy movie, literally.
Yeah, which
Like
those two movies are the only source that I had information on sororities and
sororities.
fraternities.
Yeah,
So, thanks. Shout out to those movies.
shut up. Extremely goofy movie is a much better thing to watch. I would
Yes.
prefer that you watch that to Life of the Party. But it's just, it's a classic Melissa McCarthy, like she's doing all kinds of stunts and crazy shit and just being goofy at this, in this sorority house at fraternity parties. She's drinking like there were a lot of like pyrotechnics being done, and she had a stunt double like, jumping off of things, and it was a really fun film to like work on, just like
Did
watching
you
all
say
the
the
effects.
majority of the pyrotechnics did not make it into the movie? You're like this
Yeah.
scene. You're like all the pyrotechnics are gonna happen here, and they like didn't happen. You're like, oh, I guess
I was
they
like,
cut
"Oh,
that
I
out.
just remembered when we shot them and they didn't put it in the film. There was a scene, a party scene where she drinks and then she blows like a lighter and it like shoots fire,
Yeah.
which I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this. I didn't sign anything, so I don't think it really applies to me, but I saw a lot of stuff on that set that I probably shouldn't talk about.
It was so, be actually such a great stream one day is you somehow watching that movie,
Giving a
uh,
commentary?
giving a commentary
That's
because you were
actually a
able to do
great
that, and you're like,
idea.
you were giving commentary about all the background characters, like, oh, this person was awful, this
Yeah.
person was sleeping around with the camera crew, this person was this and that, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this would be great content, to be honest with
And
you.
I actually have
Um,
my friend Jennifer. She stood in for Melissa. She's been Melissa's stand-in for multiple movies, and she would I think she would absolutely do that with me. So maybe that'll be a, a stream potentially.
that'd be cool. That'd be great.
But she worked on the movie longer than me because she's Melissa's, stand-in, and so she was on the film probably 2 more months than I was. So she knows all the tea. She's already told me a bunch of stuff that I didn't experience. But yeah, there was some drama that was pretty shocking, and I would love to go into it. And I think a commentary would be really fun because
That'd be great.
for every scene I could be like, okay, well, yeah, we were, in this city on this day. This person was sleeping with this person. Like, literally, I'm not even kidding. Is like very dramatic.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot just from this tiny little movie that nobody watched.
Yeah, and I have my own
Um,
stories, but I won't get into them right
speaking
now.
speaking of nobody watched, your homework today, chat, is to go
Life of the
watch
party.
Life of the Party and find Mandy in these movies and screen cap it and
Yeah,
post it in the
I won't
Discord.
tell
We're not going to
you.
give you any clues.
No, I won't tell you. You have to find me. I
Yeah,
will
you
say
gotta you gotta find her.
my hair was about this color.
Yeah. So when
Yeah.
I watched it, her hair looked very different than her current hair, but it's starting to look more like it did at the time.
I will say,
So
funny enough, I was standing right behind the girl that I was standing in for, which is such an interesting choice.
there's a clue for you. There's a
There's a
clue.
clue. So if you know what Jessie Ennis looks like, she's the actress in the movie. If you know what she looks like, look for her in a scene and look behind her because I'll be standing right behind her. It was such a trip, but really
That
easy
is,
money,
yeah.
and I got to eat like a queen, and it was fantastic. And I wish I could do it full time.
Hey, I mean, you have a lot of opportunity in Atlanta,
I
don't you?
still could. It's just they've been doing is Stranger Things, and it's all
Mhm.
just like you need to be 80 pounds and 4'11", and it's just like okay, well, that's not me.
Not you.
There haven't been any like casting notices for anyone that looks like me or has my measurements, so there hasn't really been a lot of opportunities recently.
What about for me? Can I fit any of the roles?
Probably there's always like looking for racially ambiguous people. Like, see, I'm not even kidding. Like they're looking for
That is me.
they're
Anybody
like
know my race in chat
African
that doesn't know
American,
me already?
Asian, Pacific Islander all in one casting notice, and I'm like, that's when I know that they like are desperate for somebody, like they lost somebody last minute and they need to fill it by morning, which
I'll
happens a
show up and
lot.
I won't even tell them what I am. I'll just be like, listen, I got the melanin.
They
Let me do
won't
this.
care because like with
Yeah.
stand-ins they're very loose about like what you actually look like. There was a girl, a background extra on set. This is one of the stories that was crazy. I'll tell one before we end just as like a
Okay.
little tidbit. So there was a background extra on Life of the Party who looked exactly like the actress I was standing in for, like exactly like her. Like if she had applied for the job, she would have gotten it over me 100%. But she didn't know about that casting. She only knew about background. So like she wasn't in the running for it. And so I was the closest look to the actress. And I didn't meet her. I didn't meet her. I saw her in the bathroom like
Yeah.
halfway through the shoot. And she found out that I was standing in for Jessie. And the look that this girl gave me, like she found out who I was and she saw me in the bathroom and she gave me the dirtiest look, and she was talking shit to all the background extras about how she should be standing in for Jessie, and it was so dramatic. And so we called her, what did we call her, a fifth stage clinger, I think is what we called her. I
Whoa,
don't know if
what?
fifth stage, what that had to do with anything, but she was like obsessed with the fact that she wasn't standing in for Jesse because I got the job. It's like you didn't even apply.
Yeah.
So they're not going to just like fire me because you say you want to.
It sounds like this whole movie was a mess of these types of
It was a
stories,
shit
and that's
show.
why you guys all gotta tune in for the commentary.
Yeah.
You just gotta. I don't even think you'll get in legal trouble for it, to be honest.
No, because I didn't sign an NDA. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I signed exactly, but I think I would have known if it was like a NDA.
Yeah.
I wish they
I
would
kind of.
come for me. Like, I don't think they give a shit about me.
There was this time when I'm not gonna go into too much into the idea, but I eventually will talk about this on stream. I told you about it before, where this guy wanted to have a business meeting with me because he wanted me to be his lead artist for an idea for
Mm-hmm.
a multimedia franchise he had. And he met with me and gave me I think $80 just for meeting with him, which is like pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Just meeting with him.
Oh, that's yeah, that's
Nothing
really
was even
nice.
agreed. Yeah, it was really nice of him to do that. His idea was god awful, and he was supposed to send me an NDA, and I don't know if he did or not, but I never signed anything. And I think you're supposed to give me that before you tell me the idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now I don't have any incentive to keep this a secret, and it was a stupid idea,
Yeah.
and it never took off, and I never agreed to it because I didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, you kind of messed up there. I'm not signing
You
anything
didn't
anymore.
sign.
But hey, thanks for the money.
Thanks for the $80 and the idea. Appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, it was awful, so nobody's gonna take that. So I guess you can still have it.
Silver's gonna
Yeah.
rent the movie. Silver, I don't think you need to rent it. I think if you have a Max account, I think it's on Max. It's definitely on Amazon Prime. But I think I saw it. I think it is on Max for sure. So if you have a Max account, it's free, baby.
There's two scenes. You're in a party scene, and you're also in a scene where they're all kind of having a moment and they're talking. They're all in a
Yeah.
group in a room together, and you're like behind the couch.
It is the turning point of the film. Like
Yeah.
I'm in the scene that is the turning point of the film where she's like, "Yeah, I'm getting my shit together." Like it's that scene and I'm in it.
You're in multiple scenes, I
I'm in
think.
multiple scenes. The thing is like with this movie, I think this is common for a lot of films, but like they'll have the stand-ins be background if like they're super desperate and they just need bodies.
Yeah.
Which sucked because like we would stand in for the scene for like 2 hours and then instead of going and taking a break we would have to also be in the scene, so then we wouldn't get to take a break for like 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
So anytime they were like, can we get any volunteers for background, we would all just be like, mm-mm. Like we would all just like try to hide or something. Like literally we would, if we were like somewhere else and someone was like they're looking for background, we'd literally go to the bathroom like and just hide. And it usually it worked, but sometimes like they would catch you and it sucked. I hated being background. I never want to be background again cuz like it's such a just like you're a piece of furniture job and nobody really values you being there.
Yeah.
You're just a body, like, and a lot of background extras are really annoying to be fair. So I'm just like I don't want to be grouped in with. I've been it before, but like I don't ever want to do it again.
I just checked. Life of the Party is available for rent on Prime, but not to just watch for free.
Don't spend
It's
your money on that.
it's $5 Canadian.
Okay, well you're Canadian. Okay, if you're American, you might have it for
It could
free
be like
on
that's true,
Max.
worth a shot.
I think
Maybe
last
it's
time
on
I
Disney.
checked, it was on Max. Let me look it up because I do not don't nobody spend your money on this movie. Trust me.
It's not a good movie. So don't do it.
Don't do
I'm just
it.
checking the other sites.
Do I get residuals? No. No, stand-in work is it's like a one time you get a paycheck every week.
Yeah.
And the money was really good, and because I was working full time, I didn't have any time to spend the money. So by the time it was over, I had made like a few $1,000s just like from the month and a half that I did it.
That's really good.
No, it was really good. And you eat on set all day every day. So you never have to buy food. So yeah, it was dope.
It is not on Disney Plus or Netflix.
Okay, guys, yeah, it's crazy that you have to pay any money for this movie. Like, don't. I will take the L and rent this movie and stream it so that you guys don't have to.
We'll find it on, I think, piracy.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do not spend your money.
No, I think we'll do it. This would be a fun Discord stream. I don't know if we can do it on Twitch.
Yeah, I think what happened is like, which by the way, Melissa and her husband make all of her movies. Like they have their own production company. I think they probably like paid to have it on HBO when it first released digitally. I think that ran out.
I think so too, because I think that's where we watched it. Because you didn't pay for it when we watched it.
It was on Max when I first told you about it, but I guess that contract ran out.
Dang.
Wasn't doing numbers like they thought it would.
But yeah, if you end up watching it before we do this stream or before we do the next podcast chat, let us know.
Yeah,
let us know if you found MaeMaeTown in these videos.
Yeah, I hope you do. If you pay for it, I sincerely hope you find me. If you can't, if you do and you can't, let me know and I will give you the exact moment.
Yeah.
Also, what's up, Jamie?
How's that going, Jamie?
Sorry,
in the Twitch chat?
First time seeing Jamie in forever. Where's my girl? You mean Yuji? She's living her life. I don't know. That sounded like we aren't friends. We're
she's been popping. Oh yeah, no, she's been popping in a lot more lately.
Yeah, no, she's in the chat sometimes. She works a lot and she's living her life.
Very busy. I still want to meet Yuji.
I know.
For the Spotify listeners, you can get to know all these characters on Twitch.tv, such as Jamie Never Wins and Yuji and Token Duelist and JTMC97. You can know all these people for free.
And Silver and Noodle and Cutting Class. I feel like you're going to leave out everybody. That's going to make me feel bad.
Oh, did you want me to name? I can name everyone.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. See, this is why you can't favorite. You can't give favorites. You gotta, if you're gonna say one person, you gotta say everybody.
I was giving a few. Okay, well, let's scroll back up then.
Even if you can
Jedi
only
Mega
see...
Man.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Larry Box.
Yeah.
I think Noxinator is giving birth right now, so we
For
can't.
real?
I think she's having. Shout out to we got Gus as well. I just want to give a quick shout out to my dear friend Noxinator, also known as Steph. She is giving birth to her beautiful daughter today.
Congratulations!
Yeah, very very excited for her. So obviously she's not here to watch this.
Well, by the time this is posted, Noxinator will have a beautiful baby girl. Hopefully, I hope that it's out before then.
Yeah, that's true. Morning. I know. She said that she's waiting for the schedule. So hopefully it happened today.
The schedule.
Well, because they said that because it's supposed to be like an induced labor.
Oh, it's induced. Okay.
Yeah, so I think they were going to do that today, but they didn't have they needed to find a time to do it. So hopefully it happened today. But
yeah,
that's pretty cool. If so, I want to give a big shout out to her.
Yeah,
and a big congrats to her and her husband Dan as well.
Yeah, shout out to Dan and Noxinator. Shout out to the baby's name is, don't tell me. The baby's name is, I got it. Oh God, you just told it to me like 2 days ago. Shout out to baby.
Starts with the number 3.
What?
Huh? Sorry. What was your guess?
Wait, give me the first letter.
Arms.
Oh, come on. Just give me the.
It's okay. Once I give you the first letter, it's 2 syllables. How about that?
It's 2 syllables. Okay, I'm trying to think of their. The baby's name is Jank Boteco. What? It's 2 syllables. Chaucy.
It's
a TP? Optimus Megatron.
I said 2, you fools. Those are all 3.
Chaucy.
Starscream was a good guess.
Nudes. Frick, you just told it to me 2 days ago. Is it like a...
Pingu is a great name.
Oh, God. Give me the first letter.
Once I give you the first letter,
just give me the first letter.
All right, it's W.
W. Willow.
Yes, it's Willow.
It's Willow? Okay. I thought it was a cool name.
Yeah, it's a cool name.
I knew it wasn't a basic ass name, Wilson.
That's right.
Welcome to the world.
Water.
Welcome to the world, Miss Wilson.
Little
Wegatron.
water, little bottle of water.
Little Whittle Wilson Williams.
Little wormy.
Little wormy. The baby's name is Winnie the Pooh. Winnie's a cute
Oh,
name
good
though.
name.
I do love Winnie as a
Winnie is a
girl's
cute
name.
name. I feel like that's more of a dog name.
Yeah, but I've seen people name their kids Winnie.
That's true. That's true.
Willard. Willard is
Willard.
foul. Wakanda.
But yeah, hopefully I can go visit them and hopefully you can meet them as well. I know we've been trying to arrange that for a while, and that we can finally meet the baby.
I don't meet a lot of babies.
I haven't had I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and it's been a long time since they were babies, so I haven't held a baby in a lot of years. I'm kind of excited to see a baby again.
You know, the last time I held a baby was one of my younger cousins, who they're both one of them just went to college, the other one is getting their license next month.
Yeah.
So it's been at least 15 years, 16 years since I've held a baby, which is insane, but you just don't really interact with babies that much.
They're only babies once and now they're old, right? It's like I have 2 nephews and a niece, and my niece is almost going to be 19. They're all turning into adults now. So it's been a long friggin' time. And I've seen them all as newborns, but
these names are crazy. Wannick the Wedgewog, Stanky Leg, Gubernatorial. Where did you even come up with that, Gus? Also, Silver says Debbie Ryan's in the film. Yeah, Debbie Ryan's in the film, and I do not like Debbie Ryan. I'll just say that she is not.
Get frigged, Debbie Ryan.
She is not a nice person. I can say that with full transparency. Speeve.
Mandy, I gotta say it is 2 hours.
I know. It's a long episode. We did miss.
I feel like I have more to say. You know what I mean?
I know.
I don't want to. I still want to keep it easy to digest, but I just always have so much fun talking.
I know.
So thank you for making me part of these.
It's so hard for us to end these episodes because literally this is just how our conversations go. So it's hard to just turn it off.
This is what we do. As soon as we turn off this podcast, we're gonna keep just doing this.
I know. So I mean, it's okay to have a 2-hour episode, right?
Hey, once in a while, hey.
People care.
If you even care.
If you even care, this is me. If you even care.
Yeah, it's me as a baby.
But I will say, to turn attention back to the actual podcast promotion, just open up that Discord chat pit. Yeah, me when I care. So tomorrow, initially, I was supposed to interview Marcus Hedges of the Marcus Hedges Trend Orchestra, who I'll give a little bit of backstory about Marcus. He is an incredible video game composer. He's composed a ton of Zelda orchestrated albums that are literally, he should compose for the movie that is supposedly being made. They should hire him 100% because he is unbelievably talented.
I just got my ears blown out on Spotify. My God.
Oh God.
I was trying to pull it out. I was trying to put the link in chat.
Yeah.
But I just got max volume just in my head. I was like, Jesus Christ.
He just released a Breath of the Wild orchestrated album. I think Neo is about to drop the link to his profile in the chat.
Here is the profile.
But yeah, so we initially were going to do it tomorrow. Something came up for him, so we had to reschedule to Monday. So Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, that interview should be happening live on Twitch. He's not so much into the Twitch space. I know he has a Twitch account, but he doesn't stream. So I'll just be looking, and if people have any questions for him, which I highly recommend, if you have any questions about video game composing or just the video game industry in general, he is one of the best people to ask because he's a professional composer. He's done stuff for Jurassic World, Destiny 2. He's a legitimate professional. Big name in the Zelda community as well. Go check out his stuff. You've probably heard it. His stuff has millions and millions of plays on Spotify and YouTube as well. I heard this prior to knowing who
who he was at all.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited to hear this, like the insight to the music, because I know
Yeah.
he's like a very, very talented composer, musician as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really cool that you had input on this track. But anyway, that's what I
Yeah,
would say.
so like we've been mutuals on social media for about, I would say, like 2 or 3 years now. And over the past few years, I've just kind of like complimented him on his work and just supported his music. And if you remember last year, I did a listening party for his Twilight Princess album that came out. And I think that really kind of pushed our connection in a very positive direction, because he had never had anyone do anything like that before, and so I think he felt very like honored that I wanted to do something like that. And so, since then we've continued to like grow our connection. And when he was working on the Breath of the Wild album, he actually asked for my input on the ending of the Rito Village track, which was like crazy for me, because I felt honored that he valued my opinion so much, and that led to me asking him to do a podcast interview. So
Which I think was nice, because
yeah.
I think your insight on his tracks, I remember him saying like you basically nailed his exact vision,
Mm.
like with your insight on each track when you're doing the listen party. So I
Mm-hmm.
imagine like, because you can kind of connect with him on his vision on his interpretation of these tracks,
Yeah.
that you're a safe person to kind of get input from.
Yeah, because he like
So
when you listen to his Zelda albums, I mean, I would say like the past two albums that he's put out, he has really evolved as an artist, and he has taken a lot of like big leaps creatively, like chances and risks and stuff like that. Like he's implemented a lot of the things that inspire him into these Zelda albums, and so he's really like made it his own, to where
mhm.
you can't no one has, it's like he's not just taking the exact source material and copying it with his, with his instruments. He's taking it and he's adding, oh, Beauty and the Beast, oh, Avatar. He's adding all of these things, that inspire him, and he's making these Zelda tracks his own work. And
Mhm.
so it's like a completely different listening experience to just somebody who, electronically just copy and paste a Zelda track and puts it on Spotify. It
It
makes him
changes so many
stand out
instruments, yeah.
completely. Which is why I would love for him to actually do something with Nintendo, because he is talented enough for that, and he has such a vision for Zelda. Like he just gets it, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like creatively he understands the world and the atmosphere, and he implements that into his work. And
I think it's possible. I think he
yeah.
could, I mean, they've done this in the past with other composers.
Mhm.
It was really cool to see one of the Undertale tracks in Super Smash Bros. Megalovania, because that composer, it's just a single person who made this entire game, Undertale.
Mhm.
Um, he composed a song originally for an Earthbound fan hack that he made. So
Mhm.
it's a song that came from a fan game, from a Nintendo game, which Nintendo hates fan games. But he's so talented that they included this track that was for that
Yeah.
into Super Smash Brothers. So it's just kind of cool
Mhm.
to see that they've gotten fans involved if they are talented enough, and I think Marcus is definitely
Yeah.
in that caliber of talent. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. I'm excited for this episode. I know this is an episode you've been talking about since the
Mhm.
inception of the MaeMaeTown podcast, and it's finally happening. So definitely,
Yeah.
definitely tune in on Monday. It's
Mhm.
gonna be a big episode.
It's gonna
It's
be
gonna be a
big.
big episode.
The reason why it's at 1 p.m. is because he is in the UK, and so we're having to work with each other's time zones. And obviously, I'm more, I have more availability than he does. He's very busy and has a lot going on, and so we're doing it at 1 to work with his schedule. Whether he
Yeah,
knows that or not, I'm just like, yeah, whenever is fine. Let's just just tell me when. Um,
yeah. He has like a British like time zone. You have a normal one.
yeah, I have a, well, normal is a way to describe it. It's weird. I don't think it's normal.
I think EST is the default time zone.
EST, do you think so? I mean, I
No,
guess.
most things go off PST. I feel like every time there's like an
An
announcement, like,
announcement.
"Hey, this is coming up this PST,"
Yeah.
it's probably
It's like,
PST, but
okay,
I'm an EST.
let me carry the three.
Let me
Like,
do the. Let me.
uh
Is it daylight savings
Yeah,
time there
but
too?
I do have to say, like, PST sucks because like the Sonic 3 trailer came out at what 6 a.m.
Ew,
PST.
gross.
For me it was 9, which I was on the bus when the trailer came out, and as soon as 9 hit, somebody's alarm went off, and I was like, oh, somebody's watching the trailer.
Do you
Um,
think that's what it was?
I mean, 9 a.m. is such a random time. Maybe it was their meds or something, but same thing.
Yeah, true. It's the same effect,
Same
same
thing.
medicinal effect.
I was on the bus like, like with
I
my.
was I was at work and it was a particularly busy day at work and I went into the bathroom at work to watch the Sonic trailer.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, sorry, my stomach's bugging me. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I went in there for like 5 minutes.
My
I
stomach's
had my
bugging me.
AirPods in and I'm just like, well, I'm on the
Ugh.
toilet at work.
As you should. Because,
Yeah.
like, well, I was like holding my earbud in on one side so I could hear it better because I was like, this is like a surround sound experience. And it was okay, but when I got home, I put it on my computer and watched it again.
Yeah,
And
you
you
want to
showed
hear
it
it just like isolated.
you showed it on your stream too, so we watched it multiple times.
Yeah, I've now seen the trailer at least over 10 times.
Yeah. But it's so good, dude. If you're a Sonic fan, this trailer is just like chills.
Oh,
It's
like
so
several
good.
instances just thinking about it. But we're starting to loop back.
Okay,
Chat,
stop. I will
we
say
gotta go. We
one
gotta.
last thing before we
Okay.
go that I really
Which
wanted
will
to
let
talk
lead into
about.
three others, but we're gonna lean
This
into that
isn't
too.
game related, this is personal life related. I am like in I've been dealing with this like Amazon scam, which I haven't even told you this, but a couple weeks ago, like right before I left for Toronto, I had a fraudulent charge on my card for like $30 from Amazon. And I looked into it and I was like looking at the order history, transaction history, no history for the order, for the charge, nothing. And I contacted Amazon. They have no clue where it came from. They don't have any information on it. And so I filed a claim with my bank. I was like, hey, fraudulent charge, don't know where that came from. They said, okay, here's the credit back, which shout out to Chase. I don't know why
Hey,
people shit on Chase. They've been nothing but angels to me.
they came through. You just got to be pleasant,
You
chat.
have to
Be
be
nice when
pleasant.
you're calling customer service.
But
Anyway,
anyways, so that happens. I go to Toronto. The night before I'm leaving Toronto, another charge comes through, this time for $39. So I call Chase again. I file another claim. Also very pleasant, very demure. Very demure. They, credit the charge, but I'm still in Canada, right? So I don't want to cancel my physical card because what if they don't take Apple Pay somewhere and then I'm stuck, I can't eat or whatever. So I'm like, I'll,
yeah.
make it back to the States and then I'll cancel my card, lock it, whatever. The second I walk in the door after traveling all day, it's like 6 p.m., I get in the door, a charge for $188.
I did not know
I didn't get
that.
to tell you this because you were streaming. It was a
Yeah,
whole thing. I didn't get to talk to you last night because I fell asleep.
that's great.
$188,
188.
also from Amazon. So I was like, great. Well, there's nothing I can do right now except lock my card and request a new card. And so I did all that, and then I called them this morning and just told them, hey, filing another claim. My card's been canceled. It's done. I just needed to report this again. And yeah, so she's rushing a card for me to get here Friday. She already credited me the amount back, so it's all good.
Amazing. Let's
But
go, Chase.
let's go Chase. But the other weird thing, when I got home, I had 2 packages from Amazon addressed to me with my address on it. I open it
Hmm.
up. I brought one of them with me. It's like a smartwatch band thing, but like a Chinese one. So it's not Apple.
Oh,
It's like maybe an off-brand smartwatch. And then a blackout curtain. And I'm like, these must be the first 2 charges because it adds up.
so bizarre.
And I texted my
So
family,
you're getting the stuff.
but it's like
Sorry.
I texted my family and I was like, did anyone order this stuff? Nobody did. There's also no history of it. So yes, I received these 2 packages that someone placed with my card. And I looked it up today. apparently this is a thing. This is a scam. It's called it's a brush scam where people will just receive packages from Amazon out of nowhere.
But what's the benefit to
What
them?
I've heard is, or what I've heard online, is that like people will ship things. They'll find a random address on Google Maps and they'll ship random things from Amazon to be able to write fake reviews for their store. But
Okay.
it doesn't explain the card charges because they also have my card info and my address.
Yeah, how are they getting all that?
I don't know, and it's so scary. But now I'm like, damn, what is the 188 charge gonna be?
What are you about to get? Are you gonna get something
Am I gonna
cool?
get like a new chair or something? Like, I'm very interested. It should come here maybe in the next like day or two. I will keep everyone posted, but like it's so scary. I'm like, they have my address, they had my card info, they can't use it anymore. But like, what is this?
That is so bizarre. Yeah, I have no idea. I
Is it a
haven't heard
card
about that.
scammer? I don't know because it's they're ordering stuff through Amazon. It came in Amazon
If
packaging.
they don't, if they don't get the, maybe they get the money. I guess they get the money.
I don't
They're like
know.
forcing. Maybe it's the sellers, and they're like forcing the the sale onto you.
And
So I'm
then
like, if they're
what?
not getting the
Refunding?
money, if and they're not getting the product, because a lot of people will order things so they can have the things. But if
Yeah,
it's being sent to you and your card's being charged, I'm like, well, I guess maybe the money's going to them, so maybe it's the seller. I don't
maybe.
know.
I don't know, but
Because like,
maybe
yeah, card skimmers would make sense, but also that would only be beneficial if they were getting the money or the product. And it looks like if you're getting the product, then they must be getting the money somehow.
they're probably processing a refund or something and they're getting the money refunded. But like,
Wouldn't it be refunded to you though?
yeah, that's what I don't understand. Like, how is this
I
scam
just don't know what the
operating?
scam is.
It's just
Yeah.
scary because it's like, if my card stops working, are they going to show up at my house and kill me? Like, it's genuinely terrifying. Because
That is a little scary. I feel like they got it randomly though.
they
I
can
don't think
refund
this is
it
like
as an
targeted.
Amazon credit. That's what I think. I think that they're just like,
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
I think
Yeah.
what they're doing is they're sending you the package to get the review, but they're also refunding the money.
I would. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing I can do
That's.
about it. What, the police? The police aren't going to do shit. Amazon doesn't even care. Like, they've had people report this to them. Like, literally all day, every day, people are reporting this, and they're just like, just keep the thing. There's nothing we can do. They're
Yeah.
helpless.
This is a confusing scam. It
It's
sounds
very
like you
confusing.
just need to change your card and you're fine.
Which I did.
And
It's
congrats
over.
on your free stuff.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited to see what this big charge is because it's got to be
I
something good.
obviously, always be on guard at all times in your life, but I don't think this is a safety concern. I think
Yeah.
this is a widespread scam that they
Yeah.
do to several people, and it's just a randomly found address. I wouldn't worry about that. You're
Yeah.
gonna live in panic for no reason. So yeah,
I have a Ring
you'll,
camera, so like if anyone shows up, it'll be fine. I mean, it is what it
you're
is,
rarely
right?
home anyway.
I'm
Like,
rarely home. Yeah, but I shouldn't say that. I am home all the time. I mean, I have
yes.
cameras, so like I know
Sorry.
if somebody pulls up.
Well, you have roommate as well, so it's
I
fine.
have so many people. Like it's a very tight neighborhood, so I have neighbors all
Oh
over the
yeah,
place. Like they're always
you have
watching.
family like beside you. Like you're fine.
Yeah, I'm very very safe here. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just really unsettling. Like having something shipped to your house, but also like someone paid for it with your card. So it's like they have my information. Like they know where I live, they know what my name is. It's really scary.
Mm.
But there's nothing I can do about it. Like literally all I can do is contact my bank, cancel a card and just move on. And just
Yeah, I
hope
mean
nothing comes from
that'll
it.
get it done. Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
would maybe change your, I don't know, your bank password as well. I don't even know where the breach came from,
I
but
don't
who
know
knows? I
either.
don't know.
I think
Yeah.
my dad's gonna have to change the Amazon password or something. But I took my
Yeah, but
like
it's the thing because there's no history on your Amazon account, like no purchase history. I guess it wasn't breached through your Amazon. Like
yeah,
it
I
sounds
don't
like
think
they just got
so.
your card info, which generally cards will have like I guess an
Yeah,
address linked to them. So I don't really
billing
know. Who knows?
address.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah, which is just like, how did they find that out? So weird. But,
Hmm.
scammers are capable of literally anything these days, so I'm not
Yeah,
really
that's true.
surprised. But yeah, it's really scary. I'm just curious now to see what I get. So I feel like I should open this, but like we're going over, so I can't open it on stream. But I am gonna open this and send a picture to the Discord so you guys know what it is. If it is a smartwatch, I feel like I can't activate it because then they might ping my location.
Maybe.
You know,
I don't
like
know.
just opening a random like piece of technology, I feel like activating it will like signal something. You know what I mean? I'm probably being dramatic, but
I mean, I'll take it if you don't want it.
no, I'm gonna see. Okay, I'm looking at the description for men, black.
Like, you're correct, but like,
You might want this. I mean, it might be more suited for you, but I'm gonna open it and we'll see.
I have the Fitbit Charge 4. Shout out to Fitbit
Yeah.
Charge 4. This one's old as hell.
This podcast has taken a turn from constant talking about Walking Dead to talking about your small background role to scamming stuff. That's the podcast, baby. I
This
don't
is
even
the
know what to
podcast that
do.
never ends,
I don't
baby.
even know what to do. I feel like, should I make this like 2 parts? I feel like that's too much. Or just do all of it.
I think you just gotta do the whole thing.
On Spotify?
I don't
That
think
feels really
there's
weird.
for sure, but we've never. I think reviewing the podcast in my head, there was no natural break in conversation. It flows so
It flows
weirdly into the
so...
next thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're just gonna. Hey, sorry about the long episode. I hope you had a long commute. We're
Yeah.
gonna end it for real. We could keep going. We can keep going. One more thing. That's dangerous. So
We are gonna end it.
Bye.
We are gonna end it. Yeah, but this has been another great episode. I'm gonna figure out what to do with this. I don't know. This might just be one full episode. If not, stay tuned for part 2.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for being in the chat. Thank you to the Spotify listeners, and thank you to the YouTube watchers. Appreciate all of you.
About you.
As always, thank you everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all, and thank you for the commentary. I know that we don't always read the chats because we are 2 ADHD people locked into a very bizarre conversation, and sometimes if we read something, it'll completely derail the conversation like it already does.
Another 45 minutes. So
thank you for the GGs. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your work week. And yeah, for sure expect an interview with Marcus Hedges early next week, probably Monday, I'm assuming. Unless something changes, I will let you guys know. We'll be doing a normal episode. But if not, it'll be Marcus. So I hope everyone has a great night, a great week, and
of course, thank you for having me, as always.
Yeah, Neodoodlez.
It's always such a pleasure being here. I have so much fun doing these, so anytime you need me on here or want me on here, I'll be here.
You are here. And everybody follow Neodoodlez with the Z on everything. Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, of course.
If you would like.
But yeah, have a great day/night, everybody, and we will see you in the next episode.
In the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.